All right, we are up to session 12. Who would like to give a recap of session 11?
We fought other time travelers and won. There was one of them to get shot in the back.
Right, Elzin climbed up on top of the train to snipe one who was running away.
Yep. Brave, brave Sir Elzin. Uh, yeah, that we felt like the dragon shards in our necks were had an intense pressure and it was painful. And there were another group in the train that were experiencing the same phenomenon. And when they saw that we were then when they noticed us, then they just attacked right away. There was no room for discussion.
Yeah,
Uh,
they said they called us something.
yeah, they said we were the shepherds of, they called us out as shepherds of time. Uh, the um the people the authorities asked what that was and if we knew what that was, and we feigned ignorance. That I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pebble didn't feign anything.
I really don't know. Um, yeah, we made it to our destination. We met up with Lyda Canneth, who was going to the Black Pit and needed an escort. Um, so we tagged along with her as her escort. And I'm missing a lot of details, but
So Lita Canneth was looking for an escort because she had been hired to be a researcher on the team of Abelard de Canneth, some member of her house who must be marked given his name, but she doesn't really know much about him. She couldn't really find much information about who he is. So not the most famous member of her house. But the road can be treacherous, so she wanted to travel with a group. She agreed to pay you. I forget the amount. It was in my email, but I forget the amount off the top of my head. And she paid you half of whatever it was up front and agreed to pay you the rest of it once you got to Black Pit. So she still owes you the second half of that payment. She said that he was doing so that Abelard de Cannith was essentially running the mining operations for a guy named Deleuze de Cunderac, who's a member of House Cunderac, the mark of warding, who also probably dragon marked given his name. And he was expanding the mining operations for kyber crystals in the area. She said that he had apparently built a keep in or near Black Pit. And so presumably that's where the research will be going. As you traveled, at one point, Paelius was on guard for the evening and he saw these sort of black wraith-like forms hovering above your bodies as you dreamt. All of you seemed to be having bad dreams at the time, but he managed to disperse whatever these things were. Uh, After you woke up, you continued to feel like you were being watched. The area around you, by the way, is extremely arid, but you would have noticed that the cloud cover is pretty high, and Lita DeCaneth commented on that being odd that the cloud cover is this thick, given how arid the terrain otherwise is. But you did arrive before you arrived, actually, as you were riding, because several of you did buy horses before you left Fort Light. Pebble's father appeared sitting on Pebble's horse. What was Pebble's horse's name? I forget.
Ziggy.
Ziggy. And Immediately, Pebbles started getting criticized by his father, who had apparently passed away sometime before, although passed away sometime before is relative because this actually would have been centuries from now that his father would pass away. Nonetheless, he appeared long enough to have an argument with Pebble, and then vanished again. You continued to feel as though you were being watched as you approached the palisade outside Black Pit. As you got closer, you began to see, you could see the Black Pit itself off in the distance, since Black Pit is built right on the edge of it. You see that there is a newly constructed keep that stands out because it's in a much better state of repair than everything else in Black Pit, which is really not even much of a village. But it is a hodgepodge of what look like relatively older buildings. And then around the keep, there are a series of newer buildings. It's also a hodgepodge of architectural styles, as people who come here tend to be from all over the place, and so they build things that remind them of whatever architecture they are most familiar with. You would mostly know of Black Pit by its reputation as just a place people come to when they want to get lost and not be found by authorities. So it's somewhat famous as a place where many people who, like, for example, deserted during the last war might have come to set up shop. It's also it's so there's a lot of people here that are engaged in sort of shady dealings, including illicit trades with Droam and other things like that. There formerly used to be mining operations for kyber crystals here, but that had sort of fallen off, at least until Deleuze de Kundarak is apparently trying to revive that. So as you sort of stand looking through this palisade, you would notice that everything around you, like there is a pretty relatively thick, like quarter-inch coating of what looks like dust, or in some places ash, just seems to be sitting on the ground. It's not necessarily clear where all this dust is coming from, but as the wind begins to pick up, there's a pretty noticeable dust storm around you, making it difficult to see what's going on inside Black Pit. Even the keep itself is obscured. Oh, one other detail I forgot. As you came up, you could see tethered to the highest tower in the newly built keep, there is an airship, pristine and new. There is a House Orion, or not Orion. What house is it that builds airships?
It is Orion.
Leander.
Learndar.
Oh.
Orion does the lightning rails. Learndar is the ones that do the airships. But it is tethered to the tallest tower. Its elemental ring is burning brightly in the sky as it hovers there.
So we can see the elemental ring burning despite the dust storm. So like kind of
Yes, you can see the light of it still glowing through this cloud of dust that's obscuring your vision.
Many people around.
You did see there are some people who man the gate, and you would have noticed that the caravans that come through tend to go off and like slightly to the southwest. There is just inside the palisade a fairly large area where there are tents set up that appears to be there specifically for merchants and caravans to begin to unload things.
What time is it?
It's sort of relatively late in the afternoon, like 4 p.m.
Okay. I see here on the map the bullshit creeping in. Four's the church, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. The church appears to be ruined, but you could see that as you approached. You also notice that there is some mist that looks a lot like the bite that seems to have crept into one corner of the village around the church. There's also a tree growing out of the center of the church, and faint magical lights seem to be bombarding it. Little globes of blue glowing light seem to be flowing into this tree inside the mist.
Did you make this map?
Some of it. The map overall was made by somebody else.
Cool map.
But it's cool.
Are we still escorting the lady?
Yeah, Lita is still with you.
I guess I'd look to her. Where do you need to go?
I suppose I will go to the keep, as that's where I would expect to find Abelard. That's also where I can get the rest of your money to pay you.
Very good.
Let us make sure you make it there.
The cloud looks scary.
It's
As it should.
it looks all too familiar.
So you make your way back to in the direction of where the keep is. You do notice on your way there at one point, as you pass by this small pond in the center of the village, uh, there is a large amount of blood on the ground, as if a lot of people died or there was a major fight there, but you currently don't see any bodies.
Where at again?
Near this pond.
By the inn? Is that
Yeah.
obviously an inn?
Um, yeah. I mean, there'd be a sign out front of it.
Okay.
So just outside the inn is where all this blood is. And it appears to be somewhat congealed, so it's not as if the fight just ended.
I don't
But
I don't have proficiency in medicine. I wouldn't be able to tell.
That's a gross bug.
but you make your way back to the keep where Lita is immediately challenged by the people manning the gate, and she takes out her credentials, and the gate opens for her, but the guards say only she's allowed in.
But we're friends.
She looks at them and says, I owe these people for escorting me here, so the guards just shake their heads, say you could go and get the money, but only people who are authorized to enter the keep are permitted.
How does one get authorized?
Either the steward or Deleuze de Kundarak or someone else with authority would have to give you permission to come in.
Seems like the place we'd want to be.
Can we talk to them and ask them for permission?
Good
I
question.
guess if you have legitimate work permits or reason to come in, that's fine. But we don't have authority to grant you access.
What do you know about that? And I just sort of like gesture back towards the cloud.
Which cloud? It's all dust in the air now. Everything's a
Oh.
cloud.
Sure, sure. The whatever is going around, creeping up on that tree over there at the broken down church.
It happened about a week ago, I guess. Just rolled in. I mean, the church was broken down and ruined way before that.
Sure.
But the cloud rolled in, I don't know, 5, 6 days ago. It's about
Anything of
when,
note preceded?
no, but it was shortly after the cloud rolled in that all the dust started to fall from the sky.
Hmm. Was that tree always there, gathering whatever energy?
No, you mean the little blue lights? They seem to come at around the same time as the cloud.
Is anybody investigating that?
People have gone there from the village to see what's going on, but my understanding is that they're not coming back, so people stopped.
I see.
What happened to them?
I don't know. My job is to guard the gate.
I just look at Elzen. I'm like, what do you think happened?
Well, based on our experience, based on our experiences, it could be a number.
Yeah, we have a very specific set of experiences.
Is there is there currently a bounty or a call to retrieve answers for the the nature of the tree in the middle of the church?
Well, not that I know of. The tree was there way before the cloud came. The tree's been there for years. I mean, it's growing in the middle of the church. And the church is kind of a ruin. But I don't know. Maybe the mayor might be interested. I'm just doing my job guarding this new castle here.
And you're doing a very fine job, that is.
And Lita
Perhaps
looks at you and says, "Let me go and get your money, and then I will return shortly."
We'll be here.
perhaps we should talk to this mayor. He this well this perhaps they can get us work permits and we can integrate by uh, ascertaining the nature of whatever's going on here. That also seems all too familiar. Like we should look into it
As
soon.
Lita's walking away, she pauses while hearing you say that, and then continues on.
Uh, Pebble's gonna go up to the guard and say, "Hi, I'm Pebble. What's your name?"
I'm Lithar.
I'm the Tsar. Um, so how long you been here?
Um, I mean, I grew up not that far away from Black Pit, but in Black Pit itself, I've been here about 2 months.
What's it like? Do you like it here?
Nope,
Are there fun things to do?
nope.
There,
Do you like dust? Because that's all it's been for the past week, choking on dust.
it
There's
kind of makes
no,
my beak itch.
if you like drinking, there's a fair trade in alcohol that comes in through this town. If you like drugs, sometimes they pass through, but I tend to avoid those. There's no good brothels. There's no good entertainment
I don't know what a brothel is, but if it's so bad here, why are you here?
because it pays well.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, I need money to survive, and my family needs money to survive, and I'm earning about twice as much here as I would expect to earn doing the same job elsewhere. And it's pretty
Is it
easy work.
is your family here?
No, I send money to them
Yeah, so there's nothing fun here. You always have your family here. You're just making money and you're miserable. That doesn't sound very good. Why you do that?
because if I stay here a year, I'll earn enough money that I can return to my family and take it easy for a little while. And in the meantime, I can be pretty certain that my family's not going hungry.
But wouldn't your family rather like to see you?
Maybe, but I wouldn't be happy if they were going hungry.
But what if they could be not hungry, but you're still there?
That would be great. Do you know of a job that pays this much where my family lives? Because I don't.
Well, where's your family live?
My family lives in a village called Breckenswald, which is about 30 or 40 miles from here.
So
East.
maybe maybe it would be better for you to bring your family here. At least then you would have something that would make you happy while you're here.
See, I love my family too much to subject them to this dirtwater town.
But what if they loved you too much to not be here and deal with all this?
Uh, that it might be that they would think it would be good to come here, but then they'd be here and I'd be unhappy because I was subjecting them to this place. This is a place of cutthroats and deserters and criminals. And now it's a place of cutthroats and deserters and criminals and dust storms that make you cough up dirt all night long.
How long have the dust storms been here?
A week-ish, 5 days.
Do they normally happen?
So far as I understand it, no, that this is something new, but it's been pretty consistent for the past couple days.
Well,
Hopefully
that
they'll
sounds pretty
pass.
weird.
Oh, and of course, there's the glowing gray-green cloud of death that's swallowing villagers. I don't need to expose my kids to that.
Yeah, but then, if you're in this place where there's all these bad guys and there's these dust storms and then there's that green thing that's not good. Um, what happens if you get hurt and your family never knows what happened to you?
I imagine they will have a hard time for a while. I
But
have to hope that doesn't happen to them
but
or
but
me.
but also if you're worried about your family going hungry and you're sending them money and something happens to you and you can't make money no more, then what happens to them then?
If the money stops showing up, then my wife will have to get her own job or at least try to stretch things for a while until she can make even more money than she's making now. It won't be good,
Maybe she can
but
remarry.
he just blinks.
I was just looking to end this conversation.
But wait. You said something important. You said that there are no good brothels here, but there are brothels.
It
Not
did sound like that.
exactly. There are no brothels, but I am told that some of the women of the village can be persuaded to perform services for money.
Hmm.
But you would never partake.
Not of the women who live in a place like this, no.
It's a smart man.
We should. I would like to see these women.
Have I?
He looks at you and cocks his head a little bit and says, It's your funeral, but there are no clerics in this town that can cure you if you get sick."
Oh, it is not for me. I see it. It is the mission of House Galandra to ensure that all corners of hospitality are taken care of. If one is lacking in this town, well, it would make sense that there's an opportunity for for House Galandra to step in and make sure that it is in fact serviceable and caters to the townsfolk.
House Galadra? Are you House Galadra? I can't imagine House Galandra would even want to come here. If you don't count the miners, there are maybe 200 people living in this village total and in the surrounding area. With the miners, there's maybe another 100 or so. I mean, if you want to cater to all the smugglers who come in from Droam, uh, I guess this is as good a place as any.
There are advantages to helping out in towns, smaller towns.
And I didn't know House Galandra ran brothels. What do I know, though?
Exactly.
Okay,
And
well, bye, Dalinar.
sorry, what did you say?
I said, Pebble says, okay, well, bye, Dalinar. And he walks away.
He softly says, "It's Lothar," as you walk away.
I'm sorry, Lethar.
See you later, Pebble. And as Pebble turns, he leans over to Elzin and says, "What exactly is Pebble? He's not a species I'm familiar with."
His people live far to the north. They call themselves Pengals.
I see.
They survive on love and kindness.
Well, that sounds lovely, I guess. And you see Lita coming back out with a sack in her hands. Uh, I still don't remember what she agreed to pay you. So let me look that up.
10 gold pieces a day.
Right. And it was about, so it was, she estimated it was going to be 11 days to get here. It turned out to be a little bit more. It turned out to be about 12. So she already paid you 55 gold pieces. She pays you the rest.
Right.
Thank you for this gold.
Well, you're welcome, Pebble. So it seems as though there's no additional room here in the keep. So I suppose we can all go to the inn and see if there are rooms there. Though I was told rooms are in somewhat short supply. They should be saving a room for me at least.
Can you ask the person if we could go and get the permission that you got?
The person I spoke to is the head of the research here, Abelard the Canith, my kinsman. I don't know that he's going to want to give you permission to wander the grounds. I can ask when I come back tomorrow. That's when I'll officially begin my research.
I
But
forget.
there's
What did
really,
she say she was researching again?
she is a scholar who is an expert on dragon shard crystals.
Right. Do you think there would be any interest in finding out more about that green fog?
It didn't come up when I was talking to Abelard. He's much more interested in me beginning research into crystals, though he was a little vague on what specific areas of research he's most interested in. I suppose I'll find out more tomorrow. It was a brief conversation. I am surprised they're not more concerned about the recent incursion of this gas into the village since it might spread.
Hmm. Could be some interesting questions to ask. Best be careful about it.
So she leads you off towards the inn. And when you get there, the innkeeper immediately is, after hearing who she is, immediately tells her that they've been saving a room for quite a while and leads her to that room. A second person comes up to you and asks if they can help you. The inn is jam-packed full of people. There are a lot of tables, all of which seem to be sort of, I should say all of which, many of which seem to be mismatched and may have been brought in, especially after the crowds turned up in the sort of tavern area of this inn. And there's quite a clamoring of people waiting for drinks.
Can't imagine they have very good drink here, but maybe they do. Actually, they might have very good drink here. In order to get somebody to actually stay here, only one way to find out, I suppose.
But a dwarvish woman comes up to you and says, "Is there something that you need? Are you looking for a table?"
Definitely a table and a drink.
Right, it might be a few minutes before something opens up, but I'll come find you.
Is there a bar and
There is a
any room at it?
there is a bar, but it is also pretty crowded. Like one of you could probably find a place to squeeze in.
We're all pretty small. Most of us are
Right.
pretty
There
small.
is there is more. So there's the bar is two levels. There is like a medium sized level and a small sized level. And there
Mhm.
seems to be a little more room at the small sized portion of it. But it is only one bartender who appears to be a human.
Elzen and all of his 3'2" of glory saunters up to the small part of the bar, elbows in, and like signals back, "What can I get you?" Asking
To who is he asking?
the group.
Whatever the best they have.
Give me four of the house specials.
This human woman who is tending the bar comes over and says, "I don't know what you mean by house special, but I can get you drinks of many different kinds, particularly the dromish stuff, although there's a bit more of Five Kingdoms liquors here in recent times. What are you interested in? Wines, hard liquor, ales?"
Uh, it's a bit
Mixed
of
drinks, cocktails.
She doesn't offer, she doesn't expressly offer mixed drinks.
like 5 rum and cokes, please.
But a sex on the beach.
Um, some wine would be lovely. Four
Very good.
glasses. Well,
Are they going to be small glasses?
I mean, she comes back. They appear to be normal size. They're so calling them glasses is a misnomer. She doesn't come back with four glasses. She comes back with four not completely clean mugs of wine, of red wine. Like not filthy mugs, but
yeah.
Not clean.
Well,
maybe more rinsed than cleaned.
Allison looks into it. He's like,
Yeah, and as you watch, you can see that is exactly what she's doing. As people finish up with their drinks, or the barmaids bring trays of used drinks over, there is a barrel of water behind her that they dunk the mugs in and pull them out again and set them on a drying rack.
Mhm. Reminds me of home.
This drink tastes kinda okay. It's got a little weirdness to it, but I think I might like it.
You get that little warming sensation. Hmm?
No,
You gotta drink more.
just think of it as fruit juice.
That warms you up.
drinking this make people warm.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Look at all
he
their
that
faces. Red in
he
the face.
just chugs it down.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I get that one. I want to feel
Absolutely,
warm.
my friend. Now we have a good time. Bring on more.
So Elzen brings Lee a glass too. He got some for everybody.
So, Elzin, you discover this is actually pretty good wine. like surprisingly so for the nature of this inn. And it's some semi-cleaned cups.
Elzen has been taking note, like as they go in and like critiquing the inn, as one with House Galandra would, and
Right.
it was sitting at a solid 3. The wine brought it up to a 5. This is this is an interesting vintage. Uh, good ma'am. Um, where do you get this wine? What vintage is this?
This particular wine came in from Fort Light. We've got a cask of it downstairs if you're interested in having more.
How much is the cask?
The whole cask.
Mm,
Uh, I haven't actually priced it out yet, but you owe me 10 gold for the drinks. The cask is considerably more since we'd have to replace it with something.
10 gold for 4 drinks? What you
Yes,
just
for
said?
5 drinks, I'm
5 drinks.
assuming Pebble got a
Oh,
second
right,
one.
right, right, right.
Very good. Elzen pays her 10 gold. How often do you get shipments from Port Light?
All the time these days, but used to be never.
When did that start?
Ever since the Kundarak Lord started building his mines, started bringing in workers, started bringing in tools, all sorts of equipment and boxes, set up a little warehouse for himself. Then, of course, everything started to go to shit a week ago. But the wine's still good. The caravans are still coming for the moment. But
I
the
uh
dwarf server comes back and says that there's a table ready.
I put down 10 gold. Bring us 5 more.
So eventually the dwarf server brings a tray of 5 drinks over to your table.
You got anything to eat?
We can make food. What are you interested in having exactly? There's a
What
stew if you're interested in what's already hot.
That's good. What's your favorite?
Frankly, there's not a lot of selection. We can bring you essentially beef or pork, grilled in either case,
You know what?
or the stew. There's not
Let's
much in
try
the
the
way
stew.
of vegetables other than what's in the stew.
Is there meat chunks in the stew?
Yes, there is. It is a beef-based stew.
Ah, beef. Okay. Perfect. I will take some of that.
I will also have some, and uh, your crustiest bread that you have available.
All right.
A whole loaf.
So she goes off. A couple minutes later, she comes back with uh, bowls of stew and a loaf of bread and a knife.
Very good.
So who is getting stew exactly?
Definitely Elzen.
Right, Elzen and Paelius.
Pebble
Or
will have
Pebble,
some.
is Lee getting stew?
No.
I will not eat from this place.
Is there dust inside here too
There's so
from the
it's not
outside?
exactly right. It is there is no mechanism for them to keep the dust out.
Hmm.
So it is relatively dusty in here. It's not as though it's, magically appearing inside. It's just when people come in and out through the door, dust gets in. So the stew is not up to the standards of the wine. It is a little bit gritty and watery and unflavorful.
Or
Anybody have prestidigitation?
What's that?
uh, of course. And and Elzin warms it up.
You can add some flavor to it, I think, with that spell.
Right. The one virtue of the stew is it is decently hot.
Yeah, you don't need to warm it up, but we want more flavor. So it's just salt. You just like do the salt thing.
Yeah. So yeah, he like touches the stew bowl and says a few words, and you like you don't see it, but you smell it like a poof of aroma comes out.
Gonna have to learn that spell at some point.
It smells like salted meat chunks.
So everybody make me a perception check.
Nice.
So Pieleus and Pebble, you notice that amongst the din of the crowds around you that are all having their own conversations, there is one woman seemingly, or at least it appears to be a woman. She's wearing a pretty heavy robe and has her hood pulled up. She is sort of off at her own table, sitting there by herself, uh, staring pretty intently in your direction, at least as near as you could tell, since you can't see too clearly under the hood of her robe.
Let's see here. We were supposed to try and find somebody here, right?
Nope. You're, so you had heard, I will recap this part of it. You had heard that the Aurum was having something going on here that would in time come to be referred to as the Night of Knives. And it was related to a description of a mist very much like the bite, but it's not supposed to happen for another week. And apparently, there is something very much like the bite already here. So it may be that the records that the shepherds found were not entirely accurate.
Or
But
we
what
landed not entirely accurately.
Right. So you did figure out the date. So you're sure you were supposed to be here by Aerith first. It's still a week before that. So it seems like they maybe didn't have perfect knowledge of what you would find. But so you're supposed to discover what is going on
Right.
here as best you can, and then there's a person working in Sharn you're supposed to go meet.
That's what it was. I remember there would being somebody. I mean, what are the chances that our intel was wrong? I mean, there's blood all over the outside of this building.
Right. So I would also say if, for your edification. I don't know which of your characters can figure this out. It's not exactly like a sea of blood, but it could be like 20 people died outside this inn. It's a lot of blood,
It's a
but
fair
it's
amount
not
of people.
exactly right. It's not exactly like covering the whole village. It's located to one area near the dock on this pond.
This lady, she's just no apparent armor, just robes
Just robes.
Is she
put
eating
up.
any food?
No, there is a mug in front of her, but you haven't seen her touch it.
So Pebble is gonna walk over holding his bowl of stew and say, "Hi, I'm Pebble. What's your name?"
How far away can we hear this?
Not over the crowd. Like she's like in a corner. So you are, a good 25, 30 feet away from her.
Could I perhaps get lost in the crowd and get close enough to listen in?
Right. So the crowd's mostly sitting down, but I assume you could move closer. She does seem to be observing you. It's a little hard to hide, but
Sure.
Pebble sidles over to her. And she responds saying, I am Ku Kashia.
Hi, Cookie. Hi, 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 Cookie. Um, I, I noticed you were looking over here at us, and I thought maybe you were looking for a friend, or maybe you were hungry, and I thought maybe I could share my stew with you.
Well, that's unusually kind of you, but no, I am not hungry. I am merely curious whenever newcomers come into this village of ours. I'm perplexed as to why you would come here.
Well, I came here because my friend came here.
That makes some sense. Are your friends merchants? They don't appear to be merchants.
I don't know what that is.
Someone who sells goods.
Oh, they don't sell anything. They take a lot of things, but they don't sell anything.
Fucking
They
snitching on us.
they take a lot of things. Then that explains why they would come here. So is there something specific that your friends are hiding from?
I don't think so. I mean, we we uh we got away from all the green smog, but then we come here, we find more green smog, and it just I, I thought we were gonna have a vacation or get away from it or something, but here it is.
Let me just send a quick message to Pebble.
I will definitely. Even if I can't hear, actually, let me double. I don't think I have. Yeah, that's right. I
You
didn't
you
pick
can
up the
make you
observer.
can make me a stealth check to see if you can get closer without being seen.
Baggins, I know a Baggins, Frodo Baggins. He's right over there.
Yeah,
Ooh, that might be
I can easily imagine Pebble being like, and we're from the future, and we're here to.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't quite realize that he yeah, came back in time. He just thinks that there was some magic and now they're here.
Well, that's fair.
Hey, it, do you have a pet or something? There's things in your hood that are moving around.
I don't have a pet, but pay it no mind.
Okay. Do you want some of my stew?
No, thank you for the offer, but I am not hungry.
Do you
So are
want some of
your
my drink? It's supposed to make you warm. It doesn't make me warm yet. I think I need to drink more, but if you want some, you can have some.
I can afford my own drink.
Oh,
Again, thank you for that. Are your friends looking for work?
I think maybe they would like some. I mean, we're here for a reason. Maybe that's the reason we're here. Also, there's all this weird mud outside. What's all that about?
You mean the dust storm?
No,
Nobody's
the
sure.
weird mud.
What weird mud?
I don't know. It looks weird. They're all kind of sticky. But I talked to Lether. He's a friend of mine now. But he said that the dust had been here for a little bit. But he's been here for 2 months, I think he said. And it's the first time he's seen dust, but it doesn't seem to go away. Is the dust normal here?
The dust is new. Do you mean the blood? Is that the weird mud you're talking about?
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, I guess that would make sense. It is kind of red, like a weird deep red. Yeah, I guess it must be blood. Why is it there?
I'm not entirely sure. Were screams in the night as the bar was letting out. Some people claim that there was a creature, but there was no signs of a creature by the time anybody with any sense got there. Just bodies.
Oh, people died. That
Yes, many people died. Mostly miners.
it wasn't like a fish market or anything where they were just having a lot of fish and bleeding all the fish. It was people.
It was definitely not a fish market. It was people.
That's too bad.
So how long are your friends intending to stay?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really know a lot what my friends are gonna do. But there's Levy. He's really lot of fun. He's not really he kind of quiet, but he got feathers and he kind of looks like me, but he's bigger. And then there's Haley, and he's kind of nice to me sometimes. And uh and then there's Elsie, and Elsie he actually died, which was weird, but he came back, which was cool.
He died and someone brought him back to life.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
impressive.
we were fighting these old ladies, and there was another old lady like in the center, and she kind of floated, and I ran into her, but then something knocked me back, and so I ran into it harder, and then I grabbed her and I pulled out, and then Elsie died, and then someone brought him back. Actually, it was the person that got out of that weird invisible box thing.
I am not following what you're trying to tell me. Let me let me ask you a pointed question. Have you ever heard of the rooks or crows?
Nope.
That's good to know. And how long do your friends and you intend to stay?
I guess as long as we need to.
How long is that? You said they had some reason for coming here and you're following them.
I
What's
mean,
their
I must
reason
have
for
a
coming?
reason for coming here. Otherwise, why would we be here?
A lot of people who come here are just looking for a place to stay where they won't be hassled, where they won't be attacked and imprisoned.
Elzen
Nope,
Lee.
nope, it wasn't anything like that. I think they wanted to come here. I didn't really know why, or maybe they did tell me and I just don't remember. That happens a lot.
Elzen looks back and presumably sitting with Paelius and Lee and
Snuck
sees.
off.
Paelius snuck closer to where Pebble was having this conversation so that he could overhear it.
Oh,
And
okay.
and as
I
this is
brought my drink
happening,
with me, and then we're gonna get to a point where Piolis is probably gonna have to reveal himself.
is she sitting at a booth or is it chairs?
There's no booths in this place. So she's sitting at a table in the corner by herself.
So he's going to get up and sit at the table with her, and put his
Right
bowl
next to her.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like right here.
yeah.
How
I
is she
mean-
supposed to keep warm?
Well, not sitting next to Pebble, that's for sure.
Elzen kind of leans over to Lee and like looks back and sees Pebble talking with this robed figure,
Strange woman.
strange woman, and turns like leans over to Lee. He's like, "Do you think we should help him,
Oh,
or do you think we should help her?"
well, we'll just sit and watch for a while.
Can you take a message to your friends for me?
For sure.
If they're seeking work, tell them to meet me at the town well at midnight.
Okay. I'll tell them.
Also, tell them not to join forces with anybody from the Rooks. They're not to be trusted.
Okay. Books are bad. Well is good. And midnight.
So she stands up, and at this point, this would be the first time you would notice she has like s- what looks to be solid silver dagger in her belt with a red crystal in the pommel of it. But she leaves her drink behind and leaves.
Oh, wait, you didn't finish your drink.
I don't want to finish my drink. You can have it if you want it.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you. Okay, Cookie, I'll see you at midnight.
She leaves.
Did I
She's
see
so
this
nice.
dagger? What are the chances I think I can grab it?
I mean, you could make another stealth check to see if you can get close enough to her. You can just make a sleight of hand check.
I'm just curious if I saw it. Did I saw this
You
dagger?
you definitely saw it. It's not hidden even slightly. It's just that she was sitting down at the table. That's the only reason why you didn't see it till she stood up.
Um, yeah, all right. So I'll take the opportunity as I sort of brush, like it looks like I'm brushing past her to get to Pebble. Um, Sort of I'll pretend to sort of stumble, I suppose, and maybe I can snag this dagger.
She reaches out and grabs for your hand and says, "What do you think you're doing? Are you
I was,
trying to steal from the leader of the crows?"
I don't know who that is. I
That
was
is,
just stumbling. I apologize.
make me a deception check. Talk to your friend. I may have work for you if you're interested. And she leaves.
And I'll go over to Pebble. Let us go back to the table.
Okay. Did you meet Cookie? She's nice.
Her name is Kooky.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it was something like Cookie.
Got it.
Are you taking her drink?
Oh yeah, he's already downed it.
So her drink is not wine and tastes very different. It is it it does make you warm. It also burns tremendously as you take it down. In fact, make me a constitution save.
You're chugging this. Uh, Obviously, it probably has an aroma, like a different smell altogether.
So are you sitting at the same table as she was at when you down it?
Yeah.
Uh, so as Paelius is like, let's go back to the table, Pebble starts to just vomit all over this table.
Does
Uh,
Pebble
and
vomit ice chunks?
and
Yeah,
it
what's it
burns
look like?
it burns just as much coming up as it did going down.
I just look over to Elzen, prestidigitation.
That what was Cookie drinking? That is so awful.
I just like take the mug, sniff it. Is it all gone? Did you actually get it all before? I don't.
I
If
mean,
there's anything
there would
left, I would try it.
so he did down the whole thing. There's like drips and drabs left. Not enough to make you sick. It does burn. You're
Mhm.
not sure what sort of alcohol that is.
Definitely alcohol, though.
Yeah, it seems like
Okay.
it's alcohol. Uh, but it physically burns your tongue.
Pure grain
Okay.
alcohol, 200 proof.
This is fucking isopropyl, man.
And
Spirit juice.
the dwarf server comes over and is just screaming that to get your friend out of here as he vomits on the table.
That's why I looked at Elzen. Elzen, clean this up right now.
Elzen like finishes his cup of wine and it's like, I will be back. And he walks over and begins casting prestidigitation 5 feet at a time, or 5 feet cubes at a time to clean up the mess. So like the alcohol, like the vomit just begins to like recede and like basically kind of eat away from the insides until it disappears.
So you are able to clean up, especially with a couple of castings. It is I imagine it is surprising that there is so much vomit out of such a little bird man.
Like every time he thinks he gets some, he like realizes that he missed his section.
But you're able to clean it up, and that calms the dwarf lady down. But she does look at Pebble and says, "You're cut off. We can't serve you anymore."
I don't want anything anymore. I think I'm okay. That was that. What was that? What was Cookie drinking? That was so bad.
I don't know,
Pookie?
but
You mean Kukashia?
Yeah.
She has her own special private stock of liquids here. It's not something that most of us would drink ever.
Oh, why not?
I think you've just found out why not.
That makes a lot of sense.
But she goes off again and begins waiting on tables.
that woman apparently had a job for us.
Yeah, she said meet her at the well at like midnight, I think. And she also said that the looks are bad. Bad looks.
According to her, the rooks are bad. She, however, is the leader of the crows.
Oh, she did ask about clothes. She asked if I knew about the looks and the clothes. I don't know about any looks or clothes.
Never gave you that talk, huh?
No, she had a pet. She wouldn't let me see a pet, but she had one. It was like dancing around in a hood.
What did it look like?
Oh, I don't know. I just
Was
saw
it
it moving.
Are you sure it was a pet and not like a part of her?
If I had a pet, I'd let it sit on my shoulders and in my hood. If I have a hood. Wait, I do have a hood.
What was it? A snake?
I don't know. Could have been.
Could have been a Medusa.
I don't know what that is.
They have hair. Snakes turn you to stone by looking at you.
Well, I'm not stoned. And she was looking at me.
Maybe she's not. Or maybe she wasn't trying. Maybe she wants to get all of us.
Well, she seemed nice, and she said that we could meet her at midnight, and but we'd be by the well, and then there would be a lot of fun and some dancing, I think.
Yes, midnight, the most clandestine time to take a job.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should take some time to learn about these crows and rooks.
Yes. She may be nice, Pebble, but I don't know if I were desperate enough for money to take a job at midnight. I hear the brothels are terrible.
Well, why not?
I mean, it sounds like an unnecessary risk.
The risky jobs are the most well-paying.
But if we're not going to take it down, what are we doing here?
Taking jobs might be the exact thing we need to do, whatever they are. They will likely get us all over this place. At
Well,
least send us to the various places so that we might learn something. We have a week. Yes. And that fog. Well, we know what it is, clearly.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. So the weird mud outside is blood. A lot of people died out there. There were no when there was when people were leaving this place, there were a lot of screams, and then people came out and they're like, all these bodies out there. It sounded really sad. A lot of people died.
And a monster, I believe she said. I was hiding over there.
I, I don't. I think you may have said monster, but I don't think anybody actually saw it.
Indeed. Again, we're really close to that green mist.
Yeah, that's scary, miss. Don't. I don't like it. I don't want to go by it.
Yeah, we might need to go in it.
Oh,
We'll do everything we can without going in it, but it's very likely we will have to. Well, I suppose you don't have to, but some of us are likely to go in there.
well, if you guys are going in there, if you need me to go in there, I'll go in there too.
let's try to avoid it if we can.
That's a sport.
We can still perhaps go see if we can talk to the mayor and see if there's any what they know. I'm sure they would be able to provide some information about the rooks and the crows. At least so that we can walk into a midnight meeting being armed with a little more knowledge.
Again, we should probably learn about these crows and rooks as well. Is it still is it still daytime, afternoon? I don't know how long it's been.
Right after waiting at the keep, it is probably early evening. It's like 5:30.
Okay. Summertime?
No, it's like in human terms, like Aerith is like November.
Okay. So 5:30, it's actually kind of dark.
Right. It is like late October-ish in terms of the weather.
I guess I don't know the latitude of the of
So
where we are.
so
We're bears in
Sharn
the
is like
northern hemisphere or whatever, right?
right. Sharn is like Miami-ish subtropical. But this is hundreds of miles north of Sharn. So
Mhm.
it's temperate where you are now.
Got it.
But in winter, it is still pretty cold outside. It's not quite freezing, but nippy.
Okay. Yeah. Perhaps we start with the barmaid or the barkeep or something. Ask about these rooks and crows. See if it's worth meeting this person at midnight. Everybody drink up. We need more drinks.
I'm gonna take a
So
look at the patrons to see if any of them have any symbols or whatever, if they're wearing any kind of colors or something that's obvious.
A tabard.
Yeah, maybe.
it's so make me an insight check.
Yeah, too crowded.
So, right. So there's definitely nobody looking around. There's definitely nobody who's wearing like a uniform or any obvious sigils. You can gather that like nobody in here appears to be wealthy. They appear to all be either working class down to like poor. A
How
lot
did
of
that
them, and virtually everybody in here, including you, are dirty to some degree.
Right.
how did she fit in, this kooky?
She was relatively clean, and her robes were pretty expensive.
So she stood out here, like when she stood up
Right.
especially.
I mean, not to the point where like you would imagine she was royalty because there wasn't her
Right.
dagger was clearly the fanciest thing she had going on, but the
I will
robe
get it
was
one day.
definitely yeah, the robe was definitely better in quality than most of the people in this place are wearing.
Got it.
I mean, she's the leader of the crows apparently. She got to keep up appearances.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure, how that what that sort of tier of social status that really is. She at least a step above the normal people here.
Lee, I guess also make me a perception check. So as you spend a little bit of time after Elzin goes off to cast prestidigitation and they're having this conversation, you spend a little bit of time looking at the people around you, and you pick up snippets of conversation. You gather from what you're hearing that the people who are at the tables immediately around you probably are all mine workers.
Okay.
So it sounds like they're all pretty working class mine workers. And you all see Lita comes down the stairs and she walks over to Lee and sits down at the table with him. Lee, I don't feel like we had much chance to speak despite a week and a half on the road together. Where are you from?
Different places.
But Aarakocra is still relatively rare. Did you grow up on Corvair or somewhere else?
Yeah, you could say that.
She's now understanding why she didn't have a whole lot of conversation with him.
I did say that. Would you say that?
So what do you know about the rooks and the crows?
Um, Rooks and crows are to some extent synonyms for one another. But
Right.
I assume you mean some organizations?
It sounds like some sort of gang or something that exists here.
That could be. My understanding is there's probably several rival groups of smugglers in this town. It could be those, could be some other sort of organization. I definitely haven't heard of those names before specifically, though. It doesn't sound like that would be anything related to the mining operation. It could, I suppose, be a caravan company name.
Did you notice the blood coming in here?
I certainly did. I don't know much about this town other than the fact that its reputation is for being kind of a hive of criminals. It's possible that there are combats periodically here, in which case I'm hoping I can move from this inn into the keep where I can be relatively safe.
Some people say it
I
was a
noticed,
monster.
oh, you've moved back to the table with Lee now?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just push Pebble along, slide him. Got to go back.
So she seemed surprised to hear it was a monster. Surprising that it would happen in the center of the village if it was a monster, but certainly it was was a great deal of blood. I'm sure if there was a monster, somebody must have seen it. So, Elzen, you had said that you were here to set up an inn in the name of House Galandra, but then you were also suggesting that you wanted to find work in the keep. Surely the keep isn't the best place to find the information you would need to figure out if you wanted to establish a new inn, a rival to this marvelous establishment.
Well, the keep would be a place where, I mean, the keep would be the closest thing to a rival. I mean, this place is frankly a joke for what would be considered a proper inn uh, run by the Galandra.
I didn't get the sense in my brief time there that they would be having a lot of visitors. It seems as if the keep is pretty much full of people already. There are some people who I gather are there as guests of Dekundarak, but most of the people who are there are fellow researchers and mining engineers.
They
Well,
haven't
I've
told you exactly what you're doing here yet?
Not exactly. I was only in there for a couple of minutes. Like I said, I know I'll be doing research into dragon shards, though if there's a particular area of interest, I am not sure what it is yet. I probably am not going to be much use if they want help in locating veins of dragon shards. That's not really my area. My area of expertise is really on the fundamental magical properties of dragon shards. But
You don't have any.
perhaps they're looking for uh, safeguards for the people who are mining them, in which case I can certainly help with that.
Do you have any suspicions as to what they would call you here for?
No, other than the fact that my specialty is the magical properties of dragon shards. In this area, almost certainly, it would be Kyber red dragon shards that they're looking for.
And nothing based on the others you have heard of them bringing here. You cannot devise.
No, unfortunately, the people they brought here are so diverse, I can't figure out why they would want them in a mining operation at all. There are a number of highly skilled artificers who've been hired to come here, from what I understand. There are a number of magical researchers involved in various fields, including alchemists and chemical engineers, some of whom might have some use in the mining operations, depending on what means they're using to mine. But a lot of them are still a bit of a mystery to me. A lot of straight wizards coming here, and normally I wouldn't expect there to be research wizards coming in to deal with mining operations. Again, perhaps they're hoping to develop some new method of mining, some new method of finding dragon shards.
It seems like a lot of resources for even an endeavor of that nature.
What made you take this particular job? It's not an unpaid internship, is it?
It is definitely not unpaid. In fact, I would say they're paying exorbitant prices.
So they reached out to you.
They reached out to House Cannith, and the word came to me that they were looking for an expert in the magical properties of dragon shards. My
Are they
father asked me to come here. Evidently, he believes that being associated with House this whatever this is in House Kundarak will be worth it.
they paying you or are they paying your house?
I believe it is a little bit of both. House Cannith will get some of the money, but I'm also being paid directly for my time. I did
Does
see
she?
Deleuze, and it's pretty clear he's a member of the Aurum. He had the classic 10 silver rings on his hand.
Does she strike us as somebody who is this is like who's had many assignments, or is this like one of her first, or she say that?
Um, she's pretty young, like she's mid 20s. So you don't necessarily,
Yeah,
well, give me either an investigation or a straight intelligence check, first of all.
let's go. Wow, they're both 0.
So you realize you don't necessarily know in this time frame what somebody who was a scholar of some esoteric subject like dragon shards would do to like earn money. You
Yeah.
would know from traveling with her and hearing her conversations that she was for a time a straight up scholar at Arcanics University, where she did teach classes or at least individual lessons in the properties of dragon shards and also did her own research into dragon shards. You're not
Okay.
necessarily sure, like, what does it mean to do research into dragon shards? Like, do they publish papers in Eberron on the research that they
Oh
do?
yeah.
But, you learned that she was kind of like a junior scholar at Arcanics at one point.
Right. Okay. Hmm.
From what I understand, this inn is completely full. I'm not sure where it is you're going to be able to stay. I don't see a common room for people to sleep in.
Some people
Well,
have to sleep somewhere, right?
yeah, there's plenty of places to roost.
Just imagine Lee like flying up onto that tree and just like, all right, I'm gonna roost here. Good luck, everybody. Uh, yes, it will be a problem trying to find uh, a place to sleep.
So what
And
do you make of that mist around the church?
No
You all
good.
seem, you all seem, I don't know, as if you were expecting it more than I was, at least.
I drink come out of green this.
I've
And
never
people
seen
get sick
anything
and
like
die.
it.
As Pebble lifts his head off the table.
I've never seen anything quite like it before,
Have
but
you been have you been to the Mournlands?
I have been to the Mournlands. Not deep inside it, but in the outskirts of it. It's not exactly the same as that mist, but there are qualities that are similar. It's somewhat similar color to what I remember seeing. I haven't been to the Mournlands enough to know if all of the mists in the Mournlands are like that or not. What I saw was more of a straight green and less gray color. And I don't know what to make of that tree that clearly has some sort of magic flowing into it, seemingly from thin air. And I don't know if that's related to the mist or not.
It did apparently show up around the same time.
Yeah, so I heard from your conversation with the gate guard. And there's the deaths, and you say a monster. As I said, I hope they can free up a room in the keep sooner rather than later, as staying in the inn that's right next to where so many people died is not exactly comforting. Happily, my room is on the opposite side, so I don't have a window overseeing that mess. I'll be interested to see what sort of research I am supposed to engage in. I feel like burying myself in research again. I feel like this is going to be a very dreary assignment, even if it pays well. And it's supposed to last a year or so, I'm told. a year in this place isn't exactly warming my heart.
Not with this much dust.
Or if that mist gets any closer.
That's true. That might cut my time here short, as I'm not prepared to die for this assignment. I gave up my position in Arcanics, so I can't exactly go back there, but I'm not going to stay here if I'm in actual danger.
You didn't have tenure?
You're not sure that they have tenure, but she did not. She's like clearly too young. She's like associate professor.
Could have been a
Can
child genius and started teaching at like, 14 or something.
can an Aarakocra get tenure?
Yeah.
What's their lifespan?
Starts early, friends. Starts early.
Well, if the mist, or rather, if that green mist starts to spread, I would suggest that you do not waste any time in booking the next train out.
I'm not sure there's a
Yeah.
train near here, but I suppose I'll keep a bag packed in case we need to leave. I'm surprised that nobody has investigated the mist.
Sounds like they
Nobody,
have.
nobody official at any rate. No, with
Hmm.
as many scholars as there are here, you would think a strange and probably magical mist would have piqued someone's interest.
It is quite peculiar.
Interesting, isn't it?
We were thinking of approaching the mayor to see what has been underway, but and perhaps they would have more information.
I suppose you do need to know that if you're going to establish an inn here. And there might be other oddities about this place beside. It is right on the verge of the Black Pit.
Indeed.
It is a novelty.
I hope to be able to talk to the other researchers and find out what I'm in for now that I've accepted this assignment. I wish I'd had more information. I might not have left Arcanics in the first place.
Well, if you learn anything interesting and we happen to be around,
I should have more information in the morning when I finally see my research space. I'm not really sure where that will be either. It didn't seem like the keep was big enough to have a proper laboratory.
Maybe it's one of these houses.
Possibly. None of the houses look like they'd be proper research spaces either. And I gather from what I heard that the newer houses towards the north of the town are all really just barracks for the mine workers. One of them's apparently a warehouse.
Of their house?
A what? I didn't hear you.
Of their house,
Uh,
warehouse, their
no,
house.
yes.
This house has birds flying all around it. Was that true?
Yeah, I don't know why there were birds pictured around that particular house.
Well,
Maybe that's
clearly
the
something's going on there.
right. That is the guy
Is
who
it
keeps all the
all the crows and the
mess,
rooks?
the messenger pigeons.
but that's where the Birdman lives.
Right.
Harvey?
Yeah. Lee feels a strange pull towards that house.
Birdman, get in here.
they're but they're like homing pigeons. So like Lee tries to talk to him and say, "You should get out of here. What are you doing? You're working for the man."
Mm.
I have to say, now that like this is the first time I've had an Aarakocra in the party, I do have some difficulty just because I have like a child's brain. I have some difficulty not picturing Lee as Sam Eagle the Muppet. Sam Eagle is a very stern blue Muppet who
Mm.
is otherwise an eagle.
Okay. Did we get a chance? Did we see any of these rooms? We didn't see any of them, right? Do we have an idea how big the rooms are?
You mean the
In the
rooms at the inn?
Yeah, they're probably not very big, but
No. So you haven't seen any of them because you've only been like the front door opens up into the tavern space. So
okay.
you haven't been in that portion of the inn. Uh, but the way Lita describes her room, it's probably just like a 10 by 10 square. She's definitely used to better accommodations than she's going to get here at the inn.
Can I wave over the barmaid or whatever?
So there is a different barmaid at this point, a human woman, but she comes over. Can I get you something?
Oh, you're new. Do you know if there are any rooms?
Oh, I'm afraid there are not.
Hmm.
There is a common sleeping area in the back. I don't believe there are any cots left to sell, but I'm sure they'll agree to sell you floor space if you have your own bedrolls.
Good to know. Thank you.
It's possible you could find one of the local homeowners who's still taking in guests, but as I understand it, even they're full up at this point. Between all the guests and the caravan people and the miners.
Is there like an RV home section? You know?
Like I said, there are large tents set up in like the right next to the palisade when you came in.
Right. Yeah.
We
We don't have big fancy tents like that.
Right, that's true. You did find a tent among the time travelers' possessions,
Oh, sweet.
though it's like a two-person tent.
Oh yeah, see, that's what I mean. I need that big one.
Well, it's a good thing most of us are small. That might make it a three, perhaps
Right.
even four-person tent.
yeah.
We want to get
Elson
cozy.
needs room. Elson needs room to spread out.
He's only 3 feet tall, but he takes up, you know,
5 foot
nine,
space, that's for sure.
9 square feet.
Pebble is an amazing big spoon.
You get stabbed in the back by ice.
Well, for Pangle, he's an amazing big spoon.
Well, we might be pitching a tent tonight
Big for yourself.
because it seems our options are limited.
Indeed. We can always crash in a corner somewhere and wait out till midnight. Meet this lady. We still need to learn more about these rooks and crows.
Let's see if we can talk to the mayor.
If they're still accepting guests at this time.
Let's go to his house, bang on the door.
Yeah. Hey, Mayor, get out of here. We gotta talk to you.
This is a good point. It it might be.
I mean, you never know unless you try, right? Do you think I could take this cup to go? Only
I
one
don't.
way to
So
find out, right?
the barmaid has left. So you're not
Yep.
sure if they will let
Yeah.
you take their cup.
I'll bring it back. Unless it gets broken, which, you never know. I'm just gonna walk out like I own the cup. I mean, assuming we're going,
You guys can do that. I'm going to stay with what's her name.
Lita?
Yeah,
All right.
just hang out with her. Maybe me and Pebble, or Pebble can go with you. I don't know.
Wait, lady, do you want to hang out? I love to hang out. Do you want me to stick around? I'll hang out
Crap,
and
he's
stick around with
listening.
you.
Sure, Pebble. We can hang out with Lita.
Um, as we go to walk away, I lean in and whisper to Lee, careful with her. She's very clever, but we might be able to use her.
Well, I just don't want her to end up dead.
She, sure, I agree. Wouldn't be much use to us if she was dead, huh?
No. She maybe are into the researchers because they probably know a lot more about that mist than what they want to tell you.
I agree. All right.
So you
I'll
walk
leave you
out
to
with
it.
the cup. It is the place is far too chaotic and full for the couple of servers who are wandering the floor to notice. So you walk outside with a free
I,
cup.
I have stolen cups in real life from all over the place. Okay, I had to do it in a game when I had the chance.
One time there's this bar in Chicago called Howl at the Moon, and they would have these bucket drinks that were supposed to be for multiple people, but of course I'd
Yeah,
always get one just for myself.
absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. I would have taken the bucket. You took the bucket, right?
well, of course, but
Yeah,
as
yeah.
I'm walking out, the bouncer's like, "Hey, you can't take that because it still had like ice in it, but it was like, I drank all of it." And without missing a beat, I dumped it at his feet and just walked away.
Hmm.
And the other bouncer, he was just
Okay.
shocked. And the other bouncer said, "Well, you said he couldn't walk out with it like that."
Yikes.
That's probably the most benign Howl of the Moon story I have heard.
I've told places. I was at an Applebee's. I'm like, I like this cup. I'm gonna take this cup. And the lady's like, what? I'm gonna take this. I did. I took it. I wasn't lying.
I mean, they budget for that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's gonna either get broken or it's gonna get stolen. You know?
Can't have nice things.
So as you wander outside, you realize you have to cover the top of your mug to keep the dust out of it.
Indeed. I probably cover my mouth too. I've probably devised some kerchief to go over the face early on, honestly. Pyelius don't want to be breathing this shit. He's got delicate lungs.
What about Elzen?
Um, he probably wouldn't. He doesn't have anything that necessarily would, unless he had a constant like wind blowing away from him to like keep the dust away from his mouth. But that would take too much energy to keep that going. So he would just probably deal with it. But he does when they get outside, he kind of says a few words and a he says a few words and a kind of energy force kind of ripples around him uh, as he puts on his mage armor or his energy armor.
So I mean, I would say You can probably the mage armor probably can keep some of the dust at bay. You still find yourself coughing from time to time as it gets into your mouth and sometimes into your throat.
You know, I almost forgot. I'm gonna do this right quick. So I'm gonna step off. I'm like, let's go to the side right quick, and then I will pull out the searcher box and release the drone
Okay.
and have it. That way I can kind of, yeah, I'll send it off in a direction while we walk towards the mayor's house.
Which direction are you sending it?
You know what? Let's go towards. Let's fly towards the castle or the keep up there.
Okay. So I'll say that while you were in the bar, you asked, like, you don't have this map, but you asked where the mayor's place was, and you were directed essentially across the field behind the inn. But you send the searcher box off in the direction of the keep.
Perfect.
And you make your way to the mayor's house.
Now the inn was bustling and very busy. How is the rest of town?
I mean, there are people on the street. There's not a lot, though. I mean, clearly, people essentially just go wherever it is they need to go and then don't come back outside, probably because of the dust. So there's not a lot of people loitering. But as you are making your way to the mayor's house, you see there is a guy who appears to be loitering outside the mayor's house, who immediately, like when he sees you approaching, comes running up to you. His features are sort of bestial, almost a little goat-like. But he comes up to you, and you would recognize that he is a shifter. He is also really shabbily dressed. Like there are multiple holes. His clothes are mostly in the form of rags. He's a big, strong looking person, but nothing on his face. And as so he comes up coughing profusely as he comes up to you, and puts his hands on Pielius's shoulders and starts screaming loudly, "Madness is riding the winds! We're all doomed! The end of time! The end of all of us!"
It's like shove him off me. Always at all times. I know this.
No one will listen to me. We're all going to die. Everything is falling apart. There's no hope left. You see, he's coughing up like big black chunks of something that are falling onto the ground at his feet.
Hmm hmm
Tell us
we're,
what
we're,
what bothers you.
we will
We're
listen.
all we're all dying. Can't you hear the screaming? The voices never stop.
Afraid not. Are you
Where's
sure it's not in your head?
The eyes are always on us. They are in my head. It's all in my head. It's in yours too. Don't you see them looking at you? Can't you hear them screaming in your ears?
Do we still have that sense of being watched then?
Yep.
Okay. I'll apply a more scrutinizing eye to the air and whatever's around me.
I mean, it's there's like a little mini dust storm going on around you.
That's fair.
Um, you 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 definitely don't hear voices.
Yeah.
All you really hear is like there's because of the wind has picked up, you just hear the howling of the wind.
Um, I mean, I guess fuck it. I don't know how it'll turn out, but I'm gonna do detect magic.
So again, there is a lot of magic in the air around you. but you don't sense anything magical coming from this guy.
Is the
Okay.
dust magic?
The dust doesn't appear to be magical, but like it doesn't appear to be inherently magical, but you gather it's probably infused with the same sort of magic that is just emanating from the air.
Right.
So as you get close to the mayor's house, I mean, there are cold fire lanterns that are set up periodically outside along the road. So that's obviously magical. Are you going to see the mayor? You have to tell him that we're doomed. You have to tell him about the voices. You have to tell him we need to flee. We need to get out of here, or we need to kill ourselves. That will be a release, a final peaceful release.
Do you know which direction the voices are coming from?
They're in our heads. They're in our skin.
When did you start hearing the voices?
I don't even remember. I think they were always there. I think I just never noticed them before.
When did you start noticing them?
Maybe, maybe months and months ago. Maybe I noticed them years ago. But I definitely started listening to them months ago when they started telling me about how they were going to kill me. But they're going to kill all of you first. They're going to kill us all in time.
I just looked to Elzen. I'm like, I think this one's just crazy. Let's keep going.
Well, we will let the mayor know.
The mayor
Good
may
luck.
be one of them. Don't trust the mayor. If the mayor won't listen to reason, you should kill the mayor. In fact, you should probably just kill the mayor when you see him. He won't see me because I tried to kill him. But maybe you can get in. Maybe you can get past all of his defenses.
Right.
We'll have to see.
What do you know about the rooks and crows?
The rooks and crows. The rooks and crows are in on it. The rooks and crows are crazy. They fight and kill one another, but they don't focus on our true enemies. They don't focus on the voices within. They dream their dreams of riches and wealth and plunder. They're terrible people. Don't do anything that brings you into contact with the rooks and crows.
Again, Elzen, let's just go on. He's not going to give us any useful information.
Oh my God. He starts to back away from you. I was wrong. You're in on it. You're one of my enemies. You're
I-
plotting against me. He turns and starts to run, screaming.
Perfect. That conversation finally ended. I had hoped, but when you're not right in the head, you're just not right in the head. Just because it's incredible timing for us doesn't mean anything.
Well, I was hoping even in the they say that even in the depths of madness there is a glimmer of light. It seems
Who
seems
says
the
that?
storm has blotted that out.
Yes. Who says that? That person is an idiot.
Are you calling my mother an idiot?
If she said that,
You best watch yourself.
don't
Or
worry. She was likely hoodwinked by another person who said it. Let's move on.
So you make it to the
Your
mayor's
mom
house.
wasn't dumb. She was just gullible.
You got to walk away. Don't let them get a good chance to think about it. Come on, let's go.
So
So
yeah,
you make it to the mayor's house. And then we go back to Lee and Pebble and Lita. As you're sitting in the bar, they've been gone now for a couple of minutes. Lita is just judging from, so Pebble tries to his best to keep up with the conversation, but he's not feeling well from the drink. And he doesn't really understand most of the words Lita uses. I imagine she is mostly talking about esoterica, about dragon shards and the magic within them. So I imagine, Lee could be interested, but given your reaction to Featherine, you might also be zoning out a bit as she is just nerding out about things she knows about dragon shards.
Yeah, I nod a lot.
So, and then suddenly in the middle of the room, you see a unicorn just jumps out from underneath a table, full-sized unicorn, and
I
proceeds to
look.
sort of lean into the table it leapt out under, and starts to like bury its face in a bowl of stew someone's eating and begins to eat the person's stew.
Okay.
A-
Well,
And everybody is startled by this, but you see, strangely quickly, they start to go back to their normal routine. The one woman whose stew is being eaten just looks embarrassed.
Pebble, uh,
uh-oh.
whatever illness he is feeling,
Is gone
he
immediately.
pushes that away as he squeals in delight and goes to chase the unicorn.
Yeah.
So the unicorn sees you running up to it. Lita also stands up as she is not accustomed to unicorns leaping out from under tables. So she follows in your direction. But as you run up to the unicorn, it doesn't seem to be startled by you. It continues eating the stew out of the bowl.
Even better, Pebble immediately leaps into the air to tackle hug the unicorn.
Uh, so give me an athletics check or an acrobatics check. Oh, so it tries to dodge as you leap, but it fails miserably.
Its hooves start skidding on the floor.
And the unicorn pulls its head out of the bowl of stew and turns to you and says, "I beg your pardon, little man. What are you doing?"
Oh my God, you can talk. You can be your friend. Hi, I'm Pebble. What's your name?
Uh, it looks at you and cocks its head and says, "I'm not entirely certain what my name is.
Oh,
Not
that means I
really
can give
sure."
you a name. How would you like to be Barnacle?
I don't think I would like that name.
Okay, what about Cloud? Cloud, yeah, Cloud.
I suppose if I must have a name, Cloud is dignified enough.
Hi, Cloud. It's nice to meet you. I'm Pebble.
Hello, Pebble.
So where
I'm
did you come from? You just jumped out of from the table? Like, how did you do that? Can you teach
last
me
thing
how
I
to do
remember.
that?
I don't remember leaping out from under a table. Last thing I remember, I was in the middle of a dense forest in a golden shower of sunlight, and there were thousands of penguins around me, and now I'm here.
Oh, you are around penguins? Oh, that's cool. Those are like my cousins.
Hmm, that does make some sense. Now that I look at you, you do seem penguin-esque, but you can
Yeah.
talk. Penguins can't talk.
No, because I'm a pango. We're like we're like penguins, but smart, and we all are very loving of each other, and we make good friends, and we really care, and we share things, and we have play lots of games. Do you want to play a game? Do you know any games you want to play?
I am not that interested in playing games. If you could pardon me for just a moment. And the unicorn leans down and places its horn against the bowl it was just eating and flips the bowl up onto the lap of the woman whose bowl it was. spilling the rest of the stew on her. And she stands up and starts screaming at the unicorn, I hate you! I hate you and I want you to go away. And the unicorn
Whoa, what's going
looks
on? Why are you so angry?
she and the unicorn begin to have an argument about how she's inconsiderate. Uh, and she says, I'm inconsiderate. Nobody wants you here. We don't know where you come from, but nobody likes this. Whatever game this is, whoever conjured you, stop it. Stop it now. You're just disturbing people. You're driving us all crazy. And people around the inside of the tavern begin clapping.
So Pebble positions himself between the two, placing one of his flipper hands on the snout of Cloud and one hand on like the hip of the person that he imagines is standing up now. He says, hey now. I'm sure we can work this out so we can all be friends again. Now, what was it that happened that made you guys so angry at each other?
And she looks at you and says, I don't even remember you. What are you doing here? Yes, there were penguins in my dream, but they didn't talk. Only the fucking unicorn talked.
Well, my name is Pebble. It's nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name is Areola.
Areola. That's a fun name. So, you were dreaming, and you were dreaming about penguins, which are very much like me, but
Not
we're not the
exactly.
same.
I was dreaming about this fucking rude unicorn, and then there were penguins in the dream for some reason, and I don't know why. But
So
none of
wait a
them
minute.
talked or
So
were wearing clothes.
so you dreamed a friend into life? That's so cool. Do you understand what you just did? You made a friend in your dream, and maybe they weren't perfect, but they came to life. You made them. You
I,
made him. You made Cloud. Cloud, she made you. Isn't that cool? She was dreaming about you, and now you're here. I mean, that's the coolest thing ever. How can we not all be friends when we're all dreaming each other into existence?
uh, Cloud turns and kicks the table, flipping it up and over, and then spins back and starts laughing at everyone as they fall to the floor.
Hmm. I
And you
don't know
watch
that
as
game.
Cloud grows very sort of blurry and indistinct, and then fades away and is gone. And she looks very surprised, staring at Pebble. Why are you still here?
Well, because I've always been here. I got here a little bit ago with my friends over there, and we then I saw that unicorn come from the table, and then he was starting to eat your food, and I got really excited, and then I came over here, and then that's why I'm here. And I suppose I'm still here because I haven't left yet.
Well, you should go away now.
Perfect
But
4-year-old
but
logic.
Ariola, aren't aren't we friends?
No, we are not friends. You're just some figment that some illusionist is pulling up to bother everyone.
I don't know what a figment is. It it sounds delicious, but I'm not one of that.
You are certainly one of those. Now, go bother someone else.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. Can yeah, maybe a hug will make it better. Do you want a hug?
No, I do not want to have a hug.
Okay.
I hope whoever conjured you up dies slowly.
Wow. Ah, yeah, I think I'm gonna go now.
Did she also dream of birds?
Uh,
And then Pebble, on the verge of tears, walks back over to Lee and uh
Lita.
Lita, and he's like, did you hear that? She said she wanted me to die, and she wanted someone else to die because they thought me up. But I'm the one that thought me up.
No, no, you're Pebble. It's okay. It's just she just says she's just saying words because she's angry.
Yeah, Lita pats you on the head. Do pangolins have shoulders? I wasn't sure whether or not pangolins have shoulders. But
In a manner of speaking, I suppose they do.
but she pats you on the head and says, "You should go and hug Lee so that you'll feel better."
I think I'll go do that. Leave me out here.
And she walks over to this table that the people are setting right again. She starts to have a conversation with the woman who was just yelling at Pebble.
Uh, I was just about to do that, then I have a penkle stuck to my leg.
Dragon shard activity.
So yeah, I'll just watch their conversation and wait for her to come back.
She comes back with the woman, and the woman leans down to Pebble and says, "I'm so sorry. I thought you were just some character from my dream. I didn't realize apparently you're a real thing."
I'm trying to tell you I was real. I tried to tell you that I came here with my friends and that
Yeah,
I
but
was here.
the dreams always say they're real. The dreams don't seem to know. Whatever they are, illusions
Hmm.
always pretend not to know that they're not real, and they feel as physical as you do. So there were penguins in my dream. I just thought that it was some one of the tricks that's being played on us. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I didn't mean to upset you.
it's okay. I accept your apology. Can can I have a hug?
I'd rather not.
Okay. Could I get a fist bump?
She tentatively fist bumps you.
Okay.
And she then goes back to her table and says something to her friends and then gets up and leaves the inn. Lita sits down with you again and says, "It seems like that thing that happened with Pebble's dad is happening to people randomly here as well, where
Their dreams or
or
go ahead.
figments of their imagination seem to occasionally manifest themselves. They think there's some sort of sorcerer that's just trying to annoy them, some sort of prankster. Evidently, they're not dangerous, just annoying for the most part."
Seems like a pretty powerful sorcerer. Be spending their time doing that.
Yeah, we
Admittedly,
have
I don't understand what sort of magic would cause it, but I don't understand the magic,
no.
whether or not it's a particular sorcerer or just some phenomenon happening in the area. We were a full day away from here, so the effect must be very widespread. It must extend at least 20 miles to where we were when we saw Pebble's dad. That's,
Hmm.
if it's not a sorcerer, a fearsome amount of magic to cover that wide an area. Even the largest spells I can think of don't extend for 20 miles.
Maybe there's some
Again,
answers here.
I expect I'll raise it with the researchers. Surely they'd be interested in that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
How late
cutting
is
back,
it?
It's probably about 6 or 6:30 p.m. But cutting back to the mayor's house, you're standing outside it now. You can no longer see the crazy person who accosted you. They've disappeared into the dust cloud. But they
How,
were lurking outside the mayor's house.
how far
And
along
how
is my
far?
drone?
It could have made it to the castle by now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just have it sort of hang out there for a minute while we get settled here. Or just like every once in a while, like check out visually, see where it's
Right.
at, start moving it around the castle.
Right. So you see there is an outer wall. Like I said, there's the airship that's tethered to the highest tower. There appears to be uh, what appears to be like a little wooden bridge made out of wood and rope that extends a short distance between a doorway at the top of the tall tower and an entry hatch on the airship. Um, there are windows, but possibly because of the dust storm, they all seem to be shuttered with wooden shutters at the moment. So you can mostly see a courtyard around what appears to be a central set of towers. There doesn't, other than the guards who are standing outside, all of whom are also sort of wearing kerchiefs around their mouths to withstand the dust. But other than the guards who seem to be standing on duty, you don't see anyone in the courtyard. So, but now you're at the door to the mayor's house.
Okay. Is there anybody? It's just his house. It's not. There doesn't appear to be any sort of official thing.
It does look to be just a house. It's the largest house in town, larger even than the inn, but it appears to just be a big house.
Oh, you can start at the front door.
What are we going to ask this guy exactly?
Well,
Assuming we could even get an audience. You know, hi, we're new in town. Can you tell us about your local criminals?
well,
Assuming those are criminals.
we could ask about the Lord Kundurk and how we can ask about Lord Kundurk and how we can get in his good graces. Because I'm sure that they have at least spoken at least once.
Mm,
But at the very least, we can offer our services and see what work the mayor may have.
mm. I don't really, I don't really want to work. I just want to learn what we can and then leave.
I mean, work is good for the soul.
Maybe
Keeps you
your
honest.
soul. Maybe your soul. I like the finer things.
There are a few things finer than a hard day's work.
Agree to disagree.
I like this dynamic only because Elzin grew up way richer than you.
I
Yeah,
know.
it kind of reminds me of like the trad wives that are like, oh, look at all these things that we do because it's so nice. We have the privilege of not doing it, but man, it's so cool doing all this work.
All right. Yeah, this fucking asshole has no idea how fucking good he has it.
Elson didn't start rich.
Mhm.
He came up through the ranks, manifested a dragon mark, and then kind of became a full-fledged member. But he started off at like
Yeah.
It's like that serving level, like servants and stuff.
Yeah, but they kept you around because there's that potential. This motherfucker might just get a dragon mark. And sure as shit.
I mean, I would say anybody in Galandra still started with a lot more privilege than the average person living in Shosharn.
Yeah.
You certainly would have been like assigned tasks to do, but it would have been like your task would have been more like figuring out who gets what food. Maybe there'd be some divvying up or doling out of the food. But everybody in Galandra is still doing better than the people who have to like go and do the manual labor. Somebody has to shovel shit in Shosharn, and that's not going to be somebody from Galandra.
No, it's
So let's take a 5 minute break. I need to hit the restroom anyway.
sounds good.
Dustin, I sent you a message.
Cool. Got it.
So since we're still on you, are you knocking?
Yes.
So there's a heavy knocker on the door. You also notice there is a little button next to the door, but you're not sure what that's for. But you knock, and eventually a somewhat grizzled looking dwarf, but in nicer clothing than anything you've seen before, opens up and says, "Do you have business here?"
Good evening, sir. Yes, I do. I am Elzen de Galandra, and I wish to speak to the mayor about a business enterprise.
Uh, Digalandra. Ordinarily, the mayor would be thrilled to meet with you, but the mayor is holding a dinner at the moment, and we were not informed that anyone from your house would be there. I assume you're one of the guests of Lord de Kundarak.
We are we are we are actually on separate business, but I am planning on meeting with the Lord de Kundarak when our business with the mayor concludes.
I'm afraid there's simply no room at the table to even squeeze you in. It is already cheek to jowl among all of the guests there. Um, like I said, the mayor ordinarily would be happy to meet with you, but he's indisposed at the moment.
It certainly cannot be more squeezed than it was down at the endless pit,
Yes, well,
and we managed
I
to
I I
make
can
a
ass-
elbow our way into the bar.
if you would like, I could see if he could spare a few minutes. It may take some time, but obviously entertaining Kundarak's guests takes some priority. Not that meeting with you wouldn't also be important, but there is one of you and many of them. I apologize. I'm not sure what to say. We were not expecting anyone to come, especially not so late. Not someone who. You say you're not here for Lord de Kundarak?
I much desire to speak with him, me and my companion here, and others of our crew, but we are not.
Independent. We are
We're
independent.
If you would like to come in and wait, I can see if the mayor can spare some time to break away. If your servant could go around the back, we have a place where he could also stay.
He will.
I just look behind. I'm wearing nice clothes.
I mean,
I mean, they're worn, but they're nice
right.
clothes.
But they're also, you're both covered in dust,
Yeah,
My
and
colleague,
you're a drow.
I know. Yeah.
So you are definitely not one of the noble families of the four remaining kingdoms.
It's like look back and then look back. What the fuck do you think you are?
I believe I'm the major domo to the mayor, who I gather you're not a servant then?
Oh, he picks up quick.
he is a colleague.
Well,
Correct.
my apologies. You are in the presence of a member of House Galandra. It was natural for me to assume that he would not be traveling alone. You and your bodyguard may wait inside, sir.
It's better.
Very well.
And so you enter this is inside the house. You can see this is clearly not just a private residence. The hall that you enter, while not huge, is clearly a pointed, a little bit more like a waiting room. There are long benches along the walls. The interior of the house is much nicer than the exterior. Although you can see there is a spray of dust just inside the door as he lets you in that hasn't yet been cleaned up. It's not nearly so much as was in the Endless Pit Inn. So clearly they must be sweet. Either this, obviously this door doesn't open nearly as much, but you would gather that somebody is a little more meticulous about cleaning it. There are fairly nice carpets in here, rugs that line this hall. The benches are, in fact, relatively nice. It is almost surprising just how expensive the furniture is in here. Not that it's the best Elzen would have ever seen, but given the size of this town, it looks like the mayor must be doing very well for himself. But he asks you to wait on, you know, in this room, and points towards the benches and says he will go and alert the mayor to the fact that you're here.
Very well. And Nelson he doesn't actually sit down. He just like walks around and inspects the furniture, inspects the place.
Before the guy like fully departs, I'm like, restroom.
There is an outhouse out back. That's all he says. And he turns.
I'm gonna kill that man. I just might.
Well,
Looking around, the art is also nicer than you would expect for a tiny village like this that's otherwise pretty dilapidated and shabby. The artwork on the walls, however, you would gauge as at least pretty good quality. Maybe not super expensive, but some expense must have been incurred to bring it here. But about 5 minutes later, you see a human male comes in. His hair is pretty shortly cropped, and he's dressed in what are clearly fine clothes. You wouldn't again guess him to be a provincial sort of mayor of a place like this because his clothes are a little too nice for that. But he comes up to you and bows and says, I apologize profusely. No one had mentioned to me that a member of House Galandra would be here.
is
I'm told you're not here as a guest of Lord de Kundarak, so I assume you're here on other business. I do have to get back to my other guests as I don't want to be a bad host, but please let me know what it is I can do for you.
yes, I much desire. I'll just cut to the short of it. House Calandra is investigating an opportunity to expand the hospitality of this town. It is clear that uh, your inns are full to bursting. Everything is full to bursting, and it's frankly an underserved market. We are willing to look into investing into some much needed infrastructure. However, in order to do so, we need to understand the troubles that plague the town. There's some concerning green mists. There's dust everywhere. We need to know whether or not this investment would be a good long-term fit.
A couple of local powers that in conflict.
Yes.
Oh, I assure you, the mist is nothing to worry about. There are certainly rumors among the villagers, superstitious as they are, that there's something nefarious about the mist, and the dust is just some weather phenomenon that, frankly, we've never had in all my many years here. And so I'm sure it will pass and we won't have to worry about it again. It's more of an inconvenience than anything. As long as you don't stand around breathing it in, everybody seems to be fine, and it just creates a little extra cleaning work.
That's very well, very good. But
Very well rehearsed, for sure.
that's that hardly assuages my concerns. I was hoping to have a little more information. Um, what have you sent any teams, hired anybody to investigate the mist? Have you hired anybody to investigate the source of the dust? Do you have reports? Do you have any confirmations besides your feelings on the matter?
Well, we haven't, I don't have teams at my disposal. We, some of the villagers have gone and investigated the mist. From what I understand, they all say that it's just a mist. It apparently doesn't cause any sort of choking hazard. It doesn't seem to be poisonous. It just blocks line of sight for the most part and is dreadfully, eerily ugly. Glows a bit at night, or at least it did before the dust storms obscured the glow. And the dust is weather. I don't know where the dust is coming from, but I don't know where the winds come from, and they seem to be carrying the dust.
Hmm. What is you say you are entertaining Lord Kundar and his guests? What is his involvement in the matter?
Well, Lord Kondarok is not here tonight, but many of his guests are staying with us, scions of other houses, to the point where I would ordinarily insist that you stay with me, but I'm afraid we have no spare rooms left in this building here. Um, Lord Kundarark, I don't believe he has anything to do with the dust or the mist. He is here to set up a mining operation, believing this town, rightly, I think, to be a wise investment that could make his family very wealthy in the long run.
Do you know they are mine?
He's hoping to find a cache of dragon shards. Oddly, he's importing dragon shards as well, but he believes he can find and revive the old mines in some way, finding new veins that have otherwise been missed.
The old mines. Very interesting. So it seems that every place is full to bursting. What have you done? What have you done to try to address the shortage of housing or places to stay?
Well, I mean, the current housing shortage is mostly a reflection of the fact that Lord de Kundarak has been inviting so many notable guests out to his keep in the past week or so. I expect, I don't necessarily know what his business is or what they are here to talk to him about, but I do expect that when this passes, they will get on their airship and leave, and that will free up rooms again.
Including all the miners?
Well, no, the miners obviously will have to stay to run the mines.
Right.
But the miners stay in their own barracks, graciously built by Lord de Kundarak.
Very well.
There are also guards employed by Lord de Kundarak who I'm sure will stay. The caravans have definitely also stressed the number of rooms and available places to sleep. Because of all of his guests coming in, Lord de Kundarak has had a vastly increased need for caravans to come in with alcohol and food, and in addition to the normal mining supplies and other equipment and accoutrements he needs for his keep.
That as one would expect. Listen, I heard a fairly nasty rumor. What can you tell me about these rooks and crows? Do they present a threat to the town, to the peoples, to business?
Not at all. The rooks and crows, at best, I would say they are gangs of maybe 6 or 7 people each. They are engaged in the transport of goods from Droham into Breland. Sometimes they pass through this town, finding it to be a convenient waypoint between wherever it is their goods go and where they come from. We do our best to try to police their efforts, as many of the things they bring in, I will admit, are illicit goods. Uh, But for the most part, they are a very transient force that sometimes take up residence in our town. Nothing whatsoever to worry about. Certainly nothing that would trouble House Galandra.
I mean, we would certainly provide our own security detail. I wouldn't be worried about that, but more so for our patrons, for the people that we'd expect to come stay at our places, whether they would get
Well,
caught in such business.
I don't believe there's any business really to be caught up in. Obviously, they do sometimes stay in the town, but they don't create trouble for anyone. The greatest trouble is the fact that I know that other various agencies within Breland wish they didn't exist at all. And so we do try to discourage them being here, but we've never experienced anything on the order of violence or physical conflicts.
except for the other day
What do you mean?
Yes,
outside of your inn in town with the near the dock.
Oh, yes, you mean there was apparently some this that wasn't necessarily related to the rooks or the crows, as I understand it, but there was a substantial conflict. Probably, I believe, half dozen people or so were injured in the fight. I bef Honestly, I will say right now, we greatly welcome House Calandra coming in because the Endless Pit Inn, frankly, serves people to excess. And I am embarrassed to say that it was probably a group of drunken people stumbling out of the inn at closing time who got into some sort of altercation. Again, I think nothing to worry about. It's extremely rare, even for as low class a place as the Endless Pit.
Insight?
You can roll me insight.
Ugh, I don't know. Maybe I use a thing. Nah, it's fine.
So you don't get much of a read on him.
Good politician, this guy.
I don't know if Elzin wants to do an insight check.
I mean, he probably would be just kind of while talking, kind of trying to see if he's being straight, how straight with him he's being.
So you get the sense that he's very interested, and possibly thinking that this will be personally very beneficial to him if House Galandra were to come in here and set up a proper inn and otherwise establish some base of operations here. He also absolutely knows more about the fight than he's telling you, as he was a bit worried that the point was even raised, and was hoping to dodge any discussion of it at all.
You seem uh you seem a little uneasy. You seem a little uneasy about this fight. It seems like is is there something you're not telling me? If we're going to do business together, then we have to be honest with each other. We can't be hiding. We
But,
can share, we can hold no secrets between us.
well, I must admit that I am concerned that our little altercation will dissuade you from wanting to establish your family's operation here, as I do think you would greatly benefit the town. And the town is absolutely worth the investment by House Galandra. It's unfortunate that you come in the week when these drunken fools engage in some sort of altercation.
Do you know what they were fighting over?
I'm sure it was just the normal back and forth of drunkards.
So what you're telling me is that you have not investigated it.
No, not specifically. I mean,
And why not? Isn't that a danger? That's outside the only inn that you have.
Sure, it's not exactly as if we have a police force.
Yes, but you are the mayor of this town, and the investigation and the that falls on you at the end of the day. And it sounds
Well,
like you are entertaining many of Lord Kundarark's guests and have some of his resources and at least his ear at your disposal to help. It would also be beneficial to him, right? Since he is providing this town with a lot of resources and influx of wealth and travelers, and he would not want to see them harmed.
Lord Kundarak is providing security for his guests, I assure you, and we would not encourage them to go anywhere near the Endless Pit. But everything I had heard is that the people involved in the altercation all killed one another. There is no one to punish, not that we have a jail to put them in if there were. And it seems as though their foolishness gave them their own comeuppance.
You have the
I'm
bodies.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I'm just Pielis is staring at this man for a second. Sorry, they all killed themselves. Would you think the last person killed just took the knife to themselves?
I mean, I'm sure the last person was probably stabbed in the altercation, killed the final man, and stumbled a few steps before finally succumbing to his wounds. But from everything that I've heard reported back to me, all of the people involved in the fight perished in the fight.
How many people?
As I said, I've heard it was as many as 6 or 8 people.
You really have no idea. All right.
I know everything I've heard about the fight.
Do you know where the bodies are in third?
The bodies were taken off into, there is uh, a gravedigger's home. He is storing the bodies in his cellar while he goes off and finds a suitable place for them. We also used to have a cemetery that was maintained by the clerics of the sovereign host. But since the fall of that church, the abandonment of it, there really hasn't been, and that's been 20 years now.
Hmm.
There used to be a cemetery, but no one goes there anymore.
Um, how's that message spell thing do work again? Could I whisper to Elzen and only Elzen here?
So
Yeah,
you could it would be sort of clear you were whispering something.
Sure, that's fine.
And there's a chance he would be able to hear what you're whispering. Because
That's
he's like
that's what I
he's
mean. Like I
right. He
wasn't
is
sure if it's
yeah,
okay.
it's not like silent, completely private communication. He's like within 5 feet of you, so he might hear what you're saying.
Um,
If you got up and walked away like 30 feet, then there's no chance he would hear what you're saying.
um, okay. I will go ahead and get up. I'm going to use the restroom.
I have to shit.
Good
I'm,
day, sir.
I'm sorry, but your face makes me want to evacuate my bowels.
Um,
So yeah,
once
he clearly is going to continue talking to Elzen as you get up and say you have to go to the restroom.
and I'll basically just whisper to Elzen, this guy, this man only concerns himself with the powerful. We will not learn of anybody else like the Rooks from this man or what happened to the people.
I don't, can Elzen respond to message silently?
No, you also have to whisper back.
Okay. So yeah,
Yeah, it's like
he
continue
received
to
the
talk if you
message.
like. I'm gonna head back to the inn. I'm actually probably gonna stand just outside and go into, or I mean, I don't know if there's like a foyer or something like that.
So this is really like right through the front door. There is this waiting area you're in. So this is kind of the foyer.
Okay. Yeah, so just outside the door. I'll just close it and not move, and then I'll look through the drone and have it start like going to examine the airship.
So the airship is also the airship has a deck, but because of the dust, nobody's out on the deck at the moment. There does seem to be a clear glassed encased area where a pilot would sit. And so there you do see through the eyes of the drone. There are two pilots inside, both appear to be half elves. They appear to be
So,
doing nothing, just killing time, sitting in their chairs.
got it. Okay. I
But
just
flying around, you also see. So there are also glass windows leading to interior chambers. You don't see anyone inside, and the interiors mostly appear to be unlit. Uh, like an airship. I guess I don't know how much time your character would have spent on airships. The rooms, to the extent you can make them out, appear to all be very nicely apportioned. Not
Mhm.
big, like it's kind of like a ship. Like the cabins are relatively small, but from what you can see inside, well apportioned for their size.
Right. Live fancy. Um, yeah, I mean, I would just sort of see if I can clock any um entrances slash exits that could be exploited should the need arise.
So there does appear to be a back gate to the keep itself. It's much smaller. It's essentially a single man thing. It appears to be barred with a sort of metal grating, and there is a separate guard in a little enclosure there, or at least a little overhang. Next to him, there is a wheel, but it is just inside the wall, and you would guess that the little wheel operates the grating, but it's probably like a servant's slash delivery entrance to bring goods in through some way other than the front gate.
Mhm.
Once you're inside the keep, there are various entrances. Though you notice, I mean, just for your information, the windows, as near as you can tell, all appear to just have external wooden shutters rather than they're probably not glass in those windows.
Right. So dust is probably still getting through, but it's keeping some of it out.
Right. I mean, you would also know this is definitely built by somebody from House Kundarak, the Mark of Warding. So probably there are more safeguards and locks than you would expect
Right.
because that's what they do.
Sure. Um, okay. I will return to myself, uh, but I'll have the drone start moving towards the church as I head back towards the inn.
Okay.
I don't know if
Uh,
Elzen continues to talk to the mayor or not, but
Elzen would probably talk for another like 10 minutes. And if Peleus hasn't returned, or I'll
yeah,
pay him. Yeah.
oh yeah, I said I was gonna go. I said I was gonna return to the inn.
Yeah, he'd probably talk for another 10 minutes or so. And then,
yeah, before you get there, even after 5 minutes, the mayor starts to look antsy and says, "I do apologize. I'm happy to have you come back tomorrow and we can talk at much greater length, but I have to get back to my guests."
of course, it was a pleasure meeting you.
And if you have any further questions about just how good an investment this town could be, I hope you bring them to me because I can answer all of your questions.
Yes. Well, the first question is where I am going to sleep tonight. And that is still an open question that has yet to be answered.
As I said, I would ordinarily would insist that you stay with me, and I know the keep of Lord de Kundarak is also filled to the brim with his various guests, many of whom are sleeping in their cabins on the airship as a result of the lack of space here. If you wish, I can find some villager who'd be willing to put you up for the night in a actual room with an actual bed. I'm sure there must still be somebody who hasn't rented out all of their spare rooms. I'm not
That,
sure where to find you, though. If you would wait at the inn, I could send a runner there.
yes, that sounds most agreeable. There are four of us.
Oh, I don't know if I could find 4 rooms, but I could certainly find a halfling-sized bed somewhere, I think. Are your other friends people of importance?
Yes, they are. We would not be traveling together if that were not the case.
But I mean of real importance, not like your drow friend.
Yes, they are guests. They are guests and friends of House de Galantra.
Well, I will do what I can, and I will let you know what I find.
Most appreciated. Have a good night.
You as well. Do you wish to have a meeting tomorrow?
We'll see how tonight goes. And then he just walks away.
So he returns back to his guests. You walk out the front door. Are you heading back to the inn?
Yeah.
So while all that happens, back at the inn, uh, Lita continues to nerd out a bit, but she's also spending a fair bit of time speculating on what this phenomenon could be with respect to the unicorn suddenly appearing in the center of things. I wish I had been wish I had more facility in actually casting spells. It would be good to at least be able to identify the type of magic that accompanied the appearance of the unicorn, if it was magic.
Well, it was probably unicorn magic.
Well, that's not a standard area of magic. It could be some sort of evocation. It could be illusions. Could be psionics, in which case I might not detect anything. If I were a spellcaster, at least, or a regret of mine that I never bothered to take up that art. Piano. My parents made me learn piano.
What's a piano?
It is a musical instrument containing little buttons that you push to make music with. Each button corresponds to a different note.
Oh, they don't have those in the Frostfell.
I would be surprised if they did. It's a fairly traditional instrument here. If you visit many places where entertainments are on offer, I'm sure you'll see one and get to hear one.
Well, that would be very cool. I'd like to hear one.
Again, I wish I were more versed in magic. I could use some illusion to conjure one up, but alas, I don't know any spells of my own.
Hmm.
Do you have any theories, Lee, about the manifestations here? I don't know your specialty. Are you much of a spellcaster yourself?
No.
Eh, pity. I know that your friend Paelius, I saw him casting spells. I wonder if he got any information when Pebble's father appeared.
No.
Yeah, that was weird when it happened.
And you see somebody else comes sidling up to the table, a gnome, and reaches out a hand, extends a hand out to Lita and says, I understand you're Lita Cannith. We're going to be working together. You're one of the researchers here? And she starts to have a conversation with this gnome who they also begin to nerd out a bit. Apparently, the gnome is an expert in crysteel, which is to say like an unbreakable glass.
Hmm.
Free steel. What do I call that?
It's a combination of crystal and steel because it looks like glass, and glass looks like crystal, and steel is strong, hard to break.
Ah, what's glass?
Glass is a polymer made of silica that is exposed to a very high temperature to purify it and get out air bubbles and impurities, and then can form flat or curved surfaces that you can see through. But regular glass is fragile and so can be easily shattered.
I don't know much of what you said.
Well, that's okay. I'm Cargill. What's your name?
Oh, I'm Pebble. So nice to meet you. I'm
So
glad to meet you.
he leans across the table to extend a hand.
Ah, so, how long you been here?
I have been here nearly 6 months, and
Oh,
you
six
have
months.
you have come at the worst possible week. This has been the worst week ever.
What makes
Ve-
it so bad?
Very well. Uh, Apparently, there are monsters killing people. There's a huge amount of dust that makes you cough and wheeze like a whole day. And there's a green goat glowing cloud of gas that nobody seems to know anything about.
Oh, that's a bad miss. You don't go there. They got monsters that will go in and make you feel sick, and just it's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, there. I wasn't really planning on going over to the green mist. Looks like poison. Figure, even if it's not really poison, might as well stay away from it.
Yeah, you don't want to be near it. In fact, we probably shouldn't even be this close to it because you never know when the monsters might come out. That's probably
Say,
what got the guys at the bar.
you say monsters come out of the mist?
Oh yeah, happens all the time we're from.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You've encountered this mist before?
Oh, it was everywhere. We
Really?
couldn't really get away from it too much. There were some spaces that were clear, but it was always pretty close by.
Hmm.
And it
I have
glows. It glows.
I have not heard a single person who knew anything about the mist until now. What do you know about it?
Oh yeah. So I'm from the Frostfell, and the mist was so thick and it was so everywhere that we had to escape. So we created these these uh these ships that would go under the water that were made of ice and rock with some Goliaths and dwarves that made it. I don't really understand how they made it. It was really hard getting them into the water because we had to find a way to go through the mist to get to the water. And then we did that and we traveled and then we escaped. But then we found out that the mist was basically everywhere.
When you say everywhere, what do you mean? Over
I,
how wide an area?
I mean, everywhere.
Well, I mean, a very wide area, but do you have any idea of the relative amounts of distance it covered?
Yeah, everywhere.
Right, but when you say, I mean, obviously it can't be everywhere. It's gotta be some places where
Well,
it didn't exist. So there must be some edge to it.
well, it's not here. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Except it is kind of over there. So it's coming here. And it's gonna grow probably. But yeah, it was everywhere.
So how far did you travel in your boats to escape the mist?
Yeah, I don't know what it was called. But but my friend Elsie, he was there. I saw him there for the first time. And then and the mist was all around that place. And then we had to leave there and we had to fly real far over the mist. And then there was a big sea that was very tall. It was very tall, and the mist was everywhere except that the city kind of grew tall enough that it was over the mist, but but even then it was kind of creeping up.
And what about these monsters that are hiding in the mist? What kinds of creatures were they?
Um, really scary ones with sharp claws and teeth and razors and tentacles and drool that would melt you and yeah, all kinds of things.
That does sound fearsome. Uh, I don't know what to make of that. The only things I've heard are about the fight from last night, and that was just supposed to be some black shape. I didn't hear anything about acid or razors.
Yeah, all the monsters look real different. They're never quite the same.
So it's multiple monsters
Yeah,
hiding in the mist. That's interesting.
I don't
Where
know
do
what
the
they're hiding. They just kind of come out of it.
what do you mean?
They come out of it. And then they go back in. And then they come out of it. And then they go back in.
That sounds like hiding.
Yeah, but if you try to follow them into the mist, you won't find them.
Right, because they're hiding.
Oh, is that how that works?
That's that's how hiding works. I mean, you
Champion
might
hide and
you
seeker.
right, you might find somebody who's hiding, I guess. And as you're having this conversation, you see a half elf comes in. He seems to be wearing more or less like priestly robes, like sovereign host raiment. Um, and a bunch of people sort of let up a cheer at seeing him. And you see people come over and clap him on the back and offer to buy him drinks as he goes up to the bar. The people at the bar begin to part and make room for him. He looks pretty haggard, pretty tired. And it's about this time that Paelius comes back in.
Um,
So you see them, Lita, this gnome, Pebble, and Lee sitting around a table.
Who's that guy? He seems really cool. Everyone seems to like him.
That is Brother Rennick, if I'm getting his name correct. He is, or was, some sort of itinerant priest, I believe, of Balinor, but I think he's tending. There are a bunch of people who are not entirely well in this town, a little touched in the head. He is tending to them and taking care of their needs. I think he
he's
frequents this place a lot. He's been here every night for the past several months.
he's Mr. Crazy Person. There's one walking around out there. I sit back down. Is there any cups with any drink in it?
I don't know. Have
Hey,
you guys been ordering drinks? Like Lita would have one in front of her and a like empty bowl for her stew.
Pebble would have one if he found a way to get one, because they did say that
Yeah,
he
no,
was cut
yeah,
off.
they wouldn't serve Pebble. They don't need a vomiting penguin.
Um,
Hey, Elsie, what's that one place that I saw you at the first time?
I don't think Alzin's returned yet.
Oh,
Yes, I was here ahead of him.
just Peleus.
Yeah.
Elzen will probably be there in 5 minutes.
Oh, you know what? Pebble is he's gonna remember. Hey, wait a minute. I can talk to Elsie right now. Hey, Elsie, where's that one place that I saw you for the first time?
Well, yeah, we can talk to each other telepathically.
Do we still have the distance limitation?
Yes, there is a distance limitation, I think. Let me look
What's
it up.
It's like 100 feet or something.
Well, message is 120. I just have to
Yeah,
check
120.
to see what I wrote. If I wrote something different in my house rules, as I didn't read that house rule.
Did- oh yeah. We could speak however any length of distance as long as we're on the same plane,
Yeah, that's what I sort of
but
was
can be
wondering.
blocked.
Right.
So if we're too
So,
far away,
but
the whole ground isn't between us. We'll never make it.
right, but the two doors between you and Elzen aren't enough for that. So yes, you can message Elzen at this distance.
Elsie, Elsie, Elsie! Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is this
He
working
feels the
still?
So
dragon shark like digging into his neck.
right, so it doesn't. You don't notice the dragon shard when you're merely using this. It was an unusual experience when you met those other time travelers. So this, but you are still at this moment still talking to the mayor, and now you just hear this chirping Pengal in your ear, saying your name a lot.
Ellison tries his best to like continue to focus on the conversation until he's done.
Elsie! The name of the place where I first saw you. What was it? The place that we went to before we got to the place where we saw each other again. For the second time, but you know, we thought it was the first time, but then I remember it was the second time. Elsie, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think this thing is broke.
So everybody at the table, and especially
Pi Elias is like,
Le-
be
Le-
quiet. You're talking to me.
what's that?
Pi Elias is like, you're talking to me.
No,
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 that way.
no.
That way.
What? What do you
He's over
mean?
that way. You're. Let me move. I think I'm standing in the way.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I can't remember the name of the place. I'm sorry.
So the Lita and this new guy are just watching Pebble just talk to himself in this weird manner.
Yeah, the gnome sort of sits down in his chair. He was very clearly much more interested in what you were saying when you were talking about the mist. Uh, Now he's wondering if maybe you're among the touched in the head. But he turns his attention to Pielius and says, "So how are you? I gather you're a friend of Pebble and Lita's, and I'm sorry I didn't catch your name," he says to Lee.
Lee.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Lee.
Pi
So
Elias.
you all traveled here together? Is that my understanding? Am I correct in that?
We helped make sure this one made it here safely.
Well, that's good. Always good to have a fellow researcher be well protected.
Agreed.
Are you from the same place as Pebble, where the Pebble tells me that you've encountered the mist before? We don't know much about the mist, to be honest. It's yeah, not something that we're actively investigating.
Why aren't you? Seems
Well,
like
because
something that should be.
I don't disagree with you. It seems like it's something that uh, could be the study of a good researcher. My specialty, however, is crystal, and so gaseous anomalies not really so much my thing. But you're from a place where it exists, or is that only Pebble?
He's been, we've been reading too many scary bedtime stories for him. Pay him no mind.
Ah, well, a little disappointing. I'm always curious to learn something new from people who have it, but
Wait, what bedtime stories? I don't remember any bedtime stories. Are you reading to me? Are you telling me stories when I already go to sleep? That's not fair. That's not fair if you're doing that. I can't hear you when I sleep.
Listen, I only sleep, and I don't even sleep for 4 hours. There's another 4 hours. Everybody is just unconscious around me. It's really creepy.
Yeah, but
Okay?
if you're gonna read me stories or tell me stories, at least let me be awake so I can
I'm not
hear them
gonna
and
wake you up.
enjoy them.
If I wake you up, you'll never go back to sleep. It takes long enough as is.
Yeah, but why would you tell me story? What's that so mean? Why would you do that?
What do you mean? You were remembering them perfectly fine. You were just telling this
No,
gentleman about it.
those weren't stories. That's my actual memories. I did those things. I was there.
Where were you?
Huh?
Where were you?
Well, like I said, first I was in a Frostfell, and then we made these things that went underwater, made out of rock and ice. That my Goliath and Dwarf and some of the Pango friends all made, and then we managed to get away from the mist and the Frostfell, and then we found that the mist was everywhere, and then we went to another place and met
Okay.
LG, and then we went to another place, and then I met you guys, and then we're here. Where there's no mist.
So how many researchers are here?
well, that is an interesting question. We're not all located necessarily in Black Pit. My understanding is that for whatever reason, Abelard has a couple of little stations out there in the wilds that he's separating from us. I've met 2 dozen different people, though, some of whom I think have been resituated in these remote stations. They're probably looking for dragon shards, but it's hard to say exactly. A lot of us, frankly, don't have, including me, much knowledge about dragon shards. That's why it's so good that we've got Lita here. Like, that's her specialty. I'm sure you are quickly going to rise up the ranks and become one of the more prominent researchers, but at least one of the more. They're constantly asking us about our research and asking us to do odd little projects, but I feel like you're going to be the one with sort of directly on point information that they need.
What odd little projects.
I can't speak for everyone, but like I was asked to figure out a way to make a perfectly spherical crystal shell. And it turns out that is within the tolerances that they wanted, very difficult because they wanted something that was nearly perfectly spherical. And obviously, when you're working with crysteel, anything you do could cause a minor deformation of it. So the magic you have to infuse it with has to really be applied with tremendous care and precision.
It's like gesturing to the maid, the barmaid, as he's going on and on. Drink, please.
So is that why you were brought on to for these projects? What was what sold you? Why are you here?
Well, frankly, while I could make money preparing and manufacturing crysteel, they're I could never earn as much as they're paying here. And frankly, every little request I've asked for research material has been granted. If I were working for myself, I would obviously have to come out of pocket to further my research. And my personal interests are more on the research side and less on the practical application side. I have to do some practical work here where I make cry-steel implements from time to time. Like I said, these shells that they wanted, I've had to make several of those. And then now they want to figure out a way to encapsulate something within the shell. That's the current project I'm working on, figuring out a way to make a perfectly spherical cry-steel shell around a core of some other material.
Hmm.
Do you know what this other material is?
I'm not sure yet. I know that there's something called a reticulation frame that was mentioned to me in passing, and I think they want me to build a crysteel shell around this reticulation frame.
I see.
But what the reticulation frame, which presumably would hold something else, hence the word frame, what it would hold or how it would reticulate is well, that wasn't really mentioned to me. One thing I could say, he leans over to Lita as he says this. You're going to find that Abelard is a little bit of a stickler for siloing us off. He doesn't really like it when we get together and discuss our research amongst ourselves to one another. So we kind of have to do that outside the keep. So just keep that in mind. He would rather we not fraternize as much as we do.
Why do you think that is?
You know, he's a weird guy. He talks to himself. He's constantly talking to himself. Brilliant, maybe the most brilliant of any of us, but I think whatever project it is he's working on, this is a personal theory and I have no evidence for it. I think he's hoping to make some major breakthrough. I've gotten that from things he said from time to time, and I think he's afraid one of us is going to scoop him by figuring out what it is he's working on, putting all the pieces together, and beating him to the punch. But I have to say, everything I've heard, I have no idea what it is he's trying to do. It doesn't seem to me like he's just interested in mining Kyber. In fact, I think they import Kyber, and then that's the Kyber, like they've imported a lot of it. And I don't know how much they're getting out of these mines, but I don't think it's nearly as much as they're bringing in from the outside. Again, you didn't hear that from me.
Hear what?
Does he?
Exactly.
Have you been able to glean a timeline
A
as to when
timeline of
he
what?
wants this whatever he's working on to be completed?
Well, he's a little bit demanding, but I don't get the sense that there is a specific timeline. You know, he is very understanding that our research takes as long as it takes. He definitely keeps us working as long as we can, but I've never heard him actually demand something be done by a certain date. He wants it done right. He is, like I said, though, brilliant, and so in that sense, a lot of fun is the wrong word, but I was going to say a lot of fun to work with. I don't even know how he would have realized that you can create a perfectly spherical crysteel shell built around some internal substance, because frankly, that hasn't been done before. But he did have some remarkable insights on where to begin my research on that. And he does that for a lot of people. Like he knows a little bit about all of our specialties. I think you'll find that too, Lita. I think you'll find he probably knows, he definitely knows more about dragon shards than I do. And while he doesn't know as much as you, I'm sure, he'll surprise you with his insights from time to time.
Let's ask this then. What theoretical capabilities does this perfect sphere of this stuff have? What can you imagine it doing?
I mean, other than the aesthetic value of it, it would be, yeah, it would keep whatever's inside safe. Crysteel is a tough substance and hard to break. So it would require a lot of force to break through a shell of it to get at whatever's inside. So I assume it's some sort of shielding to protect it from damage.
How big?
I've been asked actually to research many different sizes. The smallest one was about the size of a, maybe not a pea, but twice the diameter of a pea. The largest one I'm being asked to look at is one that's 25 feet across. Diameter, that is, not radius.
Hmm.
He doesn't have me building that one yet, but he's been definitely insistent that we be able to scale it up. And that was the outer limit of what he told me we would need to be able to scale it to. But the little ones, I've made several of the little ones so far. Nothing inside them yet. But he's been
Well,
very interested in the research and encouraging. He's very encouraging. He's a strange man who talks to himself, but he's great to work with in that regard.
could he perhaps
So
be trying to nest them within each other?
That's a possibility. But I don't know what that would get him. I mean, it'd be whatever, if he does want to put whatever his reticulation frame is inside a series of concentric shells, it would be super well protected. I don't know. I don't know what it is, why he would need to protect it that well, but you would have to break through many, many shells to get at it. That would definitely be more protected than having it only inside one shell.
so is the keep all full up?
Yes, I mean full to busting. I originally, when I first got here, I had my own room, but in the past week or two, we've all more or less had to double up as he freed up rooms. He's had like a lot of high and mighty noble guests coming in. I don't necessarily know what. Weird group, all wearing like rings of copper and silver. One guy has like a finger, 2 fingers full of gold rings.
So that's why Lydia's got to stay here for the night.
Yeah, we don't have any spare rooms at the moment. I understand though that they did pay up a room for you and told them to hold it. So somebody has had to go probably without a hotel room because they were keeping one free for you. They're very excited about you starting.
So they are.
Well, I suppose I should be going. I need to get up early. I'm having another meeting with Abelard on my research in the morning.
Mm.
It was good talking to you all.
Oh yeah.
See you around.
And he gives you a little 2 finger salute and leaves Ian.
I grab as he does that, I grab Paelius's arm and say, about those drinks, and then whisper, "Do you want to follow him?"
I'll see where he goes.
So, Elzin, as you come back into the inn, uh, I guess you see Paelius leaving, following a gnome.
Elzen at this point knows not to ask any questions. It figures that he has a reason for it. But
No reason for
as soon
questions.
as he'd walk away, or as he'd be like on his way back from leaving the mayor's residence, uh Pebble would hear in his head, we met at a temple in Shosharn. It was at the top of the stairs of the catacomb. We were coming out.
You're muted,
You're
Mike.
muted, Mike.
No. I met you before that. Well, I didn't meet you, but I saw you in that place before we went to the to Shoshan. Yeah, Shoshan, that's the place we were at. But before that, before we were at Shoshan,
I do not remember.
yeah, you know, that place that, what, that, because it was a bunch of people that found me and my group in the ship, and we were there, and it was really nice. It was really nice compared to Shoshan. Like everything was really clean, and everything smelled nice, and it was a lot safer. There weren't so many monsters. Um, yeah, you know.
It sounds like Stormhome.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah, yes. I do think I remember that.
Yeah.
It was, yes, yes. Ah, well, it was the one place untouched by the mist in our time.
Yeah, that place was really nice. I wish I could have stayed, but they didn't let me.
No, it is complicated. But we are, at least we are in the past now. And we can not have to worry about the mist, well, except for here, biting at us everywhere, the bite.
Yeah, that mist is in the past.
He just doesn't respond. He's like, I'll explain it later. So then Elzen would walk in and
Right.
see.
Elias, give me a perception check.
Okay. I don't think I never got. Yeah, my drone went. I sent off to the thing. I don't know if I would have had any chance at some point to catch anything
Uh,
from that.
you might have caught something from it. In fact, I'll give you advantage on this perception check.
All right, advantage.
So from your drone, um, you do see a dark shape flying out of the ruins of the cathedral. And you realize that it's probably flying in your direction.
Mine directly.
Like the general direction of the lake.
Okay. Um. Okay. I will have the drone start flying back towards me, but I'll return to my own self. Is this that while I was outside?
Yeah, this is
Um,
essentially like
okay.
I assume you're sort of switching periodically just to catch a glimpse of
Yeah.
whatever the drone sees.
Yeah.
So it's you have just passed Elzen basically, and so you are not that far away from the inn when you see this large black shape flying out of the cathedral. Flying pretty fast, so it's probably going to reach the lake pretty quickly.
Um,
And
the
the
guy,
the, the gnome is still he's like 60 feet ahead of you. Seems to be heading in a circle around the lake,
I'll
vaguely in the direction of the keep.
look over to see if I can see it yet.
So now give me another perception check.
Okay. Just regular.
Yep.
Okay. Ah.
See, you don't see it yet.
Um, goddamn dust. Um, quick switch back to the drone.
Okay.
Like just have it. Still have it like look or moving towards me, but just see if I can spot it.
So the cathedral's not like super far away. And you can see it. It is basically approaching the central pond now.
Okay.
And in fact, you could make another perception check this time at advantage since you can see it from behind it.
I'm gonna call
This
out to the gnome too, just
so you,
instinctually. Sir, you need to get back inside.
and he turns, still sort of walking but looking back. Why? I have an early day tomorrow. I need to
Danger is
get
on
to.
its way.
He stops and after a second starts walking back towards you. And silently you see something fly up in your and his direction. And it seems to be mostly beelining towards you. Let me see, where did it go? And you realize it has an almost bat-like head, but with a sort of I would say, skeletal face to it. You can almost see individual teeth, but otherwise it has the aspect of like a giant bug with bat wings, and it is flying in your direction.
I will message everybody. Trouble outside.
There's where outside? What
Stay
kind of
here. We're
trouble?
safe.
It has details on the bottom of that. I'm not
Does it?
looking. Yep.
I haven't looked yet.
Yeah, I haven't.
I didn't.
There.
Yeah. I scroll real fast so that I can't see shit. But I just scroll just to see that. Is there something there? Yeah, yeah. So everybody's gonna, anybody that I can send that to. I don't know if there's a limit to how many people, or
No,
if I can get everybody all at once.
you could message them all at once.
Okay, cool. Trouble outside.
What kind of trouble?
Just get outside.
And
Ah,
you can all hear faintly through the howling wind, but a gnomish scream as the gnome also sees this creature.
With that, Alzin would probably uh, start moving as fast as his short little legs will take him.
Several people inside the inn have sort of stood up and are now looking at the door, wondering what's going on, including Lita. But you open the door and see this creature is now advancing on Pyelius, and that's where we can wrap it up for this session.
Cool. That was very fun.
So you've started to at least begin to figure out what the mysteries are going on here.
Yeah. I mean, either Abelard is very a savant of his time, or he's a time traveler and knows future tech, or knows a bunch of stuff because he's from the future.
Or he's been gifted knowledge from something.
That too.
yeah.
So yeah, you still, don't necessarily know what it is he's working on. There are a lot of questions I guess you can ask based on what's been described of him. They did say he talks to himself, which I guess makes
Yeah.
him sound like the crazy man
Yeah.
I was
who
I was,
wanted to kill the mayor.
kind of time passed up, but I was hoping to ask the guy, what does he say to himself? That's what I would want to know.
Hmm.
What are the things he says?
the describing the crysteel circle like spheres. The first thing that came to my head was the those glass domes from Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, that they would try to collect from the different bugs, and they use that for their planes and stuff.
I have actually never played that game.
Oh,
So I
it's
don't
a
know that reference. Oh, okay. Oh. Now I know what you mean. Yes.
yeah, fun.
So thanks everybody for playing.
Yes,
Right.
thanks.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
running.
Everyone.
Talk to you all later.
All right.
Night.